Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hey, Sixer fans, it's Matt Cord for the Bet Parks app, the official winning partner of your Philadelphia 76ers. The Bet Parks app is fun to use. Build around on what you want right from your phone. It's easy to sign up, great customer service, and faster to win than ever before. Download the Bet Parks app today. The Bet Parks app, the official winning partner of your Philadelphia 76ers.
See website for terms and conditions. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Andrew. Have you ever imagined how amazing it would be to sit courtside at a Sixers game? Well, now you have the chance to do it. That's right. Our friends at Corona are giving away a chance to win a 76ers Fine Life experience with exclusive pregame and lounge access and courtside seats. Just go to the contest page on 97.5thefanatic.com and you'll find the link to enter to win. You must be 21 or older. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Philadelphia Union Soccer, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. It's time now for Cuz Radio.
What up, Cuz?
Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding?
Talking with the Cuz.
Go Cuz. How you doing?
Stairs rips one into the night.
Stolen by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rock the baby to sleep and slam dunk.
Look, Cuz, don't even try it, okay?
Now here's Anthony Gargano.
Why don't you get the hell out of here, Cuz?
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. All right, I got that's the salutations for today. I'm not feeling a long salutation.
I hope y'all keep trusting the process.
We'll get to them in a little bit. They are in the first. They'll make the first segment. They will. But I got to start with the Flyers, all right? Because what we saw last night and the Rangers fans, the New Yorkers, taking over the building, all right? This is one of the low points. Like when we think about low points of a franchise, this is part of the low points. Sell the team. Sell it. Sell the team. Sell this team. Take it out of jail. Take it out of Comcast jail. Sell it. Sell the mother father. Sell it. They have systematically destroyed this team. Destroyed it. Chuck Fletcher is Kevorkian. He's Kevorkian. Put it to bed. Now revive it. Get rid of it. Sell it. It's embarrassing. Completely embarrassing. And on a night when Ranger fans take over the building, and I got news for you. Don't let anybody blame the fans, okay? Please, I don't want to hear that at all. This is disgraceful. What's happening to the Flyers. I mourn the death of the Flyers. I mourn them. I miss the Flyers. I do. I have to tell you, over the last couple days, I've been thinking a lot about them, and I miss them. I mourn them. This is a disgrace, what's happening. And the only reason why that it hasn't been a louder cry is because of the obvious, the Phillies and the Phillies and the Eagles, and then this, all the drama with the Sixers. And that's the only reason why the Flyers haven't had a giant bullseye for anybody who actually cares about him anymore. See, dude, Judas and I actually care about him. I don't know if people care. I don't know if people right at this point go, whatever. Like, dude, I got a lot of million things. And sports-wise, there's other things on my mind. Like, I got draft and combine and, that's it. And I got, spring training and I got a drama, continued drama with the basketball team. So, whatever, hockey, Flyers, I just go into the next category of who cares. And that's what I mourn. Because I wonder if we give a damn anymore. If that ownership group has completely destroyed hockey in Philadelphia. It's ridiculous, is what it is. It's continued malfeasance. And the only thing that got right was the coach. Unfortunately, the coach who tells you the truth really isn't probably the right guy for this job. Like, they need to have a little bit of a pulse for him to shock him into contention. Like, Tortorella, his best attribute is to get a team that has some talent and get the paddles out and turn them into a playoff team. All right? That's what they need. They need somebody to turn them into the paddles shots. But they don't have talent to do that. Right? That's what Tortorella is, the paddles. But they don't have any talent because they can't even get a rebuild right. They can't even get, like the Sixers, right? They can't even get to the second round of a process. I mean, if there was ever a year that you would tank for Bedard, we talked about Eric Lindros the other day. You're talking about 25 years ago. Oh, my God. This is ridiculous with that franchise. And I'm afraid that they're just going to die off. Like, honestly, I'm afraid the Flyers just kind of go into nothingness. And it's just, they go by the way of boxing and, these woebegone stories of the 60s and 70s, right? That aren't even exist anymore. It's terrible. And the little Ranger fans last night, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Why, if you're a Flyer fan, why would you go see that? Why would you pay money to see that team? They stink, all right? There's no future, and they blow. It's terrible. Terrible. And then you got to hear the GM say that they're the fifth most improved team. What a crock of nonsense. Just a crock of nonsense. It's just disgusting. And again, it's a fan base that deserves better. It's a franchise that deserves better. And all I hope is that David Edelman buys the Flyers. That's my wish and my dream. Because he's a great Philadelphian, and I think he would be a terrific owner. He's trying to put that arena together, the new arena, and I think it would be a perfect fit. I can't even start. Now, to the basketball team. And I know today will be a big day of, look, trade Embiid. Trade him. That's going to be
keep trusting the process.
That's going to be the mantra of today. Look how good they look without the big fella. And you'll hear things like ball movement, and you'll hear all this stuff. Look, everybody shares the ball. And I will tell you, if you think that team without Embiid could actually compete and win anything, then you got to give up your basketball card. I'm sorry. If you're going to look at a regular season game, after the Heat just beats you at home, how many times have you seen a game when the superstar is not around that the other team, everybody comes together, they play for one night? What do you want to call it? In the Wall Street, they call it the dead cat bounce. Right? That's the same thing. The worst thing you could ever do is get a long-lasting opinion from a regular season NBA game. You want to talk about something that lies. I can tell you that numbers lie all the time, but the bigger liar is a singular NBA regular season game. When you don't know who cares, who's playing, what. Listen, if you want to tell me that it's a much easier road to building a championship team with a wing player or a guard than a center, all right. I believe me, I understand that. I get that. That's a valid point. But if you're going to tell me this team is going to win anything without Embiid, you're crazy. Crazy. Out of your mind if you think that. That means you have not watched enough of the NBA regular season to know that it is wrought with pitfalls of misinformation. If you think we're in the age of misinformation, look at the NBA regular season. All right? You want to talk about fake news? That's what the NBA regular season is. And if you're going to glean that they're a better team right now, as is, without Embiid, I can't talk to you. I mean, you can tell me that they should move him and try to build in another direction. That's a different argument. If you're going to tell me that this team is going to go anywhere without Embiid, you're crazy. Crazy. It's the NBA. It's the ultimate fake news of the regular season. And quite frankly, I got to tell you, I am at my wit's end right now. I almost need a break from them. I can't believe I'm going to say this to you, but the Harden news yet again coming up is turning me sour. Like, I'm feeling sour on Harden because all the rumors about going back to Houston. And I would have enjoyed that game more had they won without Embiid and Harden. And Maxey goes for, 40. I go, oh, it's enjoyable. But I right now, I actually need a sanity break from the Sixers. I do. And it's a shame because you got, tonight you got Luka, and Saturday you got Milwaukee, and I'll be watching because I can't quit them. We got lots to get to, but I really want your opinion. And I need your support here with the Flyers. Otherwise, the Flyers disappear into nothingness. We got to band together. The land has turmoil. Save a franchise. Buzz Radio Tunis. Good morning, my brother.
Hi, good morning.
I need you on the other side. Sorry, a little long-winded.
No, that's fine.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Hey, win number 40. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this update is brought to you by the Parks Racing Sportsbook inside Chickies and Pizza in Malvern. Grab lunch at Chickies and Pizza this Friday with the Cuz and myself, the Tunas. Then place your bets all March long at the Parks Racing Sportsbook inside Chickies and Pizza in Malvern. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Sixers were in Miami last night, beating the Heat 119-96, so they get a little bit of revenge after their loss 3 nights ago. James Harden with 23 points yesterday, but Tyrese Maxey, your leading scorer, he finished with 27. The team did it without Joel Embiid, which is going to cause a lot of fun conversation today during the show. Paul Reed, 16 points, 14 rebounds off the bench. Sixers now 40-21 on the season, 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. Flyers lost in OT last night to the Rangers, but the story was the takeover of the Rangers fans at the Wells Fargo Center. That's kind of the state of the Flyers right now. We'll discuss that as well. This update's also brought to you by Jefferson Health. At Jefferson Health, there are more than 12,000 caregivers who push beyond what's possible. It is health care, rooted in care. Jefferson Health, that's uncompromising care. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Cuz, Anthony Gargano. Weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey guys, Bob Cooney here. Imagine if your favorite casino came with an undo button. Well, guess what? You get that with FanDuel Casino's Play It Again. Get up to $1,000 back if you're down after your first day. Play your favorite table games and hundreds of slots for real cash. See why FanDuel Casino's the #1 rated online casino app? I've told you so many times how much fun it is to look at their daily and their weekly promotions. And when you play with a live dealer. And should you ever have any questions, the best in-class customer support team, they are are there all the time. Sign up for FanDuel Casino with FanDuel.com/Bob today and play it again with up to $1,000 back if you're down after your first day. That's FanDuel.com/Bob.
21 plus and present in PA must not have previously placed any wager on FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel Casino, Betfair Casino, Mohegan Sun Casino, or Stardust Casino. Refund issued as non-withdrawable casino-only site credit that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
You've heard about the pills, the needles, even the surgery. But have you heard about the next big thing in ED treatment? Focused Shockwave Therapy uses pulses of energy that travel faster than the speed of sound to penetrate deep inside your body and activate the growth of new blood vessels and tissue on a cellular level. And it's available right now at Forge Medical Group, Philadelphia's leading provider of ED treatments. Focused Shockwave Therapy is safe, simple, and painless, with no drugs, no surgery, no injections, and no side effects. Forge Medical Group will create a custom treatment program that combines focused shockwave therapy with acoustic wave therapy for proven, long-lasting results for as little as $300 a session. Get your confidence back with help from Forge Medical Group. Appointments fill up fast, so call Forge Medical Group now at 610-632-8181 or visit ForgeMedicalGroup.com. That's ForgeMedicalGroup.com.
O'Reilly. Cleaning your fuel system can help your engine run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner on sale now. Buy one, get one free. Plus, get 2 times O-Rewards points. Get more fuel-saving tips from the professional parts people at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Christine.
I'm a director and a performer. I got a free phone from Cricket, and I've used it to live stream 73 of my shows on social media.
How do you like it?
It's fabulous!
Switch to Cricket and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial, limited time. Must bring your number to Cricket on a $60 a month first month service charge and tax due at sale. Phone streams video and SD. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that thinking about helmets with faces on them.
I should get a new helmet. Ooh, maybe I'll get one of those ones that looks like a face with painted teeth and eyebrows, you know? Oh, that always looks so cool. People are like, whoa, is that a person with 2 faces? Oh, no, it's a helmet and 1 face.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Since the dawn of time, men and women have fought over one thing: the temperature. It's too hot. It's too cold. I'm sweating. I'm freezing. It's time to end the thermostat wars. With special financing offers on a high-efficiency heating and cooling system, including Trane's whole house air filtration system, you'll get even, consistent heat and breathe cleaner, healthier air. Visit Trane.com to find an independent Delaware Valley Trane comfort specialist near you. It's hard to stop a Trane. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for details.
More of the Anthony Gargano Show now
on 97.5 The Fanatic.
10 o'clock hour brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Yeah, stay right with you, son.
All right, welcome back. Buzz Radio with the Tunis. I'm sorry, Tunis. These new breaks, although I probably could have went up to the old break time, which is like 22 minutes.
Oh, dude, you don't have to apologize.
I just am incensed. It's cumulative, right? Like, you know, the T-Will goes, well, if I didn't hear you destroy the Flyers, I wouldn't even know they played last night. Okay, I get it. And I get that they're an afterthought, and I understand that they don't even register on people's minds anymore, which is freaking sad.
That's not good.
And listen, I mean, I'm going to keep it real with you. To me, every day I look at the landscape of Philadelphia sports in the inverted pyramid style. That is a journalism style. And that comes from the most important story to the least important story. All right? So most days, the Flyers are the least important story and thus never can crack the show.
Yep.
And the conversation. Right? Like, they can't get, like, we're in the middle of a Phillies run, then an Eagles run, and then we come into, all the Sixers stuff, and then Philly spring training. I mean, there's not a lot of room for, talking about this team, which is the same conversation. Sell it. Sell the team. Like, that's what it is. That's where we're at. Because it's the same thing. But there are moments, like last night, when they're playing the Rangers, and it's the Rangers crowd, and I freaking hate the Rangers. I'm sorry. It goes back to my days, right? I hate them. When I worked in New York, I was inundated with Ranger people. I used to fight. It was Eagles and Flyers that we fought the most about because the Sixers and the Phillies weren't any good during when I was there. So they would just get on me about the Eagles and the Flyers all the time. And I hate them. I hate the Rangers, right? And that building is all Rangers last night. And it's sad. I just look and I go, are you kidding me? Right? Like they're going to be an afterthought for years unless they sell this team and they get someone in there that can actually come in and live it. They need somebody to live that franchise. They do, desperately. You got to live the franchise. You can't have a faceless corporation running a franchise. It doesn't work. Not in sports, especially not in this town.
Yeah, it's sad, right? So we all know the Flyers stink, right? Like we know the record stinks and the talent on the team stinks.
The future's bleak.
Well, that's the biggest thing, right? So when the Sixers were going through the process, there were times where opposing cities took over. When the Lakers were in town, there would be Lakers fans inside the Wells Fargo Center. When the Heat were in town with LeBron, all of a sudden magical Heat fans that popped out of nowhere, they started showing up at the Wells Fargo Center. But at least there was a purpose for the process, right? Like you knew that they were trying to do whatever they can to rebuild. And say what you want, has it gone very well? No, not really, because they still haven't gotten out of the second round, but they're still in it every single year.
They became relevant.
Right, exactly.
And that's what have they disappointed without a doubt? And we'll get to them.
Yes.
But there's relevance. Like the process yielded maybe not a championship, so it's not a success, but it yielded relevance.
Oh, back-to-back Saturday nights we'll have on national TV. Just last Saturday against the Celtics, this Saturday against the Milwaukee Bucks, right?
Spot on.
Whereas the Flyers, there is no direction. Zero direction. Because you can't say, they're tanking. You can't even say that they're retooling because they don't have a star on the team, right? Like, look, God bless Sean Couturier. I know he hasn't played yet this year, but come on. Like, that's their main player, Couturier and Carter Hart. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they have a build-around piece. The Phillies, a couple of years ago, they signed Bryce Harper to build around Bryce Harper. They could have done that this year with Johnny Gaudreau. They did not do it, even though he wanted to come here.
I know.
And they don't do it, so you're not even
and you go like
retooling.
With Gaudreau, you go, all right, if you don't want Gaudreau, okay.
Tank.
Yeah,
blow it up.
All the way.
Yeah.
Just strip it. Go get higher Hinkie and strip it.
Right.
And just completely, because you know what? I would take that looking forward to a shot at Bedard, a real chance that I can get a game-changing player to follow. They have nobody that will bring people to watch them.
And here's the crazy thing.
Think about this. Like, how could you be so brain dead to run this franchise like Chuck Fletcher and not go, I don't have a draw. There's nobody that's going to draw people to watch. You think people get excited about Bedard if you were able to land him? Do you think? Like that's what you need. You need 88. Right? You got to get Lindros 2.0. You got to get someone that can rally this town, and then you're okay for the build. Of course, you got to get it all right, but you got to get a starting piece, which means you should strip it. Strip it.
And it's crazy. This was the perfect year to do it.
It was.
Not only with the lack of talent. All right. Sean Couturier has not played a game. Cam Atkinson has not played. Kevin Hayes. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. The players that are supposed to be your best players, even though they're not the best players in the NHL, they're supposed to be your best players. They haven't even played. So this is actually the perfect year to do it. Because if you think that they're a couple pieces away, like a Bedard, even though he wouldn't play right away, but you think they're a couple pieces away, all right, you can make the case. Fine. Next year, you make some free agent signings after drafting Bedard because you had that bad of a season. They screwed that part up too.
Yeah.
Because then they go get Tony DeAngelo. They make the trade for Ristolainen 2 seasons ago and then give him a big contract. Right? Like, think about that. They traded a first-round pick for that man, for Ristolainen.
I know.
A guy who's
horrible. I mean, horrible.
You know, like, okay.
I mean, it's just a hard. Like, you think about what they've done, and what Fletcher, some of his moves have just been pathetic. I mean, he basically paid a second and a seventh to Arizona to take Gostisbehere for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, they got nothing in return. And you would think, okay, so they're clearing the books maybe for something?
Right.
And then look at what they cleared the books for.
Exactly. That's why
So that's the problem.
This team got pasted 7-0 by the Devils over the weekend. Now, nobody knows because nobody cared. And it was happening. And I'll be the first to tell you, I didn't watch it. I was watching Sixers Celtics.
Yeah.
Right? And then they got pasted 7-0 to the Devils. How embarrassing is that?
It's extremely embarrassing.
All right? They're just gross. And here's the thing. If we don't talk about them today, right, or the next week or two, they're going to get lost again because what's going to happen is we have the combine heating up. We got the draft, really heating up.
Yeah.
We're going to have the Phillies in spring training, right, are going to heat up. Then the season starts.
Dude,
we got March Madness.
Which you have a lack of interest for this year. Not lack of interest, but not as high as you usually do. And I'm sure you're still more interested in that than the Flyers.
March Madness? Yeah, it's not even close, to be honest.
Even though they've taken a step back in the tournament, they're still higher than the Flyers.
Oh, without a doubt. And listen, I'm a sports fan, right?
Yeah.
I love sports, right? Yeah, I probably would go football, basketball, baseball as my top tier sports, right? But I love all sports. I love hockey. I do.
Yeah.
All right. I become a soccer fan. All right. I'll watch the Union any chance I get. If I'm in. All right. I like the Premier League and Serie A. I like it. I started rooting for Naples. Right. I love those the Premier League games that come on at 2:00, 3:00 during the week and early Saturday, Sunday morning. I'm up. I love watching sports. So I'm a sports guy. I just like sports, right? Yep. So it's all part of it. I miss hockey. I love hockey. Playoff hockey is awesome. I was watching some game. It was like an Edmonton game, and McDavid was, I'm watching it. I'm just the style play.
You're in awe.
I just go, wow, that's great. That's just fun. I miss hockey, man. And we're going to go through another spring, and they're dead. And we're not even going to think about it because the draft will be here, and the Phillies will be here, and we'll be grousing about the Sixers, and that's it. And the Flyers won't even get a pulse.
I still go back to the Gaudreau thing. You were not there, unfortunately. You were in Italy, and that's when I did the show at the Gaudreau golf outing.
Yeah,
charity golf outing, and Guy Gaudreau steps up, he just goes, "Yeah, they didn't want him. The Flyers they straight up didn't want him."
Yeah,
Not they couldn't come to terms on a contract, or there were some things they couldn't agree on. They didn't want him. Think about that for a second.
Listen, and again, I would be okay with that if you
were blowing it up.
Yeah, you blew it up. No Tony D. I like Tony D. I think he's a player, right? Like he could actually he's played well for him. Whatever. No, nobody. You just strip it. Strip it. Be bad. No veterans. None of them. Get rid of them. Strip it. Like be bad. I mean, really. What else you got, Jonas?
You have nothing. Like absolutely nothing.
You're good enough. And listen, I like the coach a ton. All right?
Yeah, I do too. But he shouldn't be here.
He shouldn't. And you know why he shouldn't? Because he makes them better.
They actually win. They won games for him.
I would go get Brett Brown to coach him.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
He'd get Zaire on skates.
They miss him. He's too good. Like he'll get too much out of you. Like you had the tank, knowing you had some talent in this year's draft, franchise-changing talent. This was the year to do it. I mean, how many years are you going to sacrifice down
It's just crazy because there's if that man spoke, which he has. Look, the only thing I'll give that man credit, Chuck Fletcher, is that he has spoke. It's just he's moronic when he speaks. But there's nothing he could truly say for me to go, oh, okay, I see where he's coming from here. Right? Like, is there anything where what he has said this year and all the times that he's spoken where you go, okay, well, that kind of makes sense? No, not once. You're giving me fifth most improved team? Like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And before the season started, he dropped the whole, we're going to be tough on teams this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7-0?
It's insulting. It's insulting.
We might not win a lot of games, but we're going to be more competitive this year. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Is that what your goal is, to be competitive?
See, this is and this is where you have no concept of the Philadelphia fan. The Philadelphia fan will be in on a rebuild if you give him a direction, right? Like, you got to spell out the direction. And the direction has to yield assets and players. What assets did this dude?
They have nothing.
This dude,
nothing.
It's unbelievable.
First round pick for his line.
You got to be kidding me. Like, how?
It's
one mistake after another mistake. It's ridiculous. Oh, my God.
Yep. It's awful. It's awful. And look, I've been open about it. I think I've watched a total of 5 or 6 games this year. Last year, I put myself through torture and watched damn near half the season. And last year, they didn't deserve my time. I coming into this season, new head coach, right? Didn't matter to me, man. I was like, I'm not going to watch. I'll keep an eye on everything. Like, I am reacting to the Rangers fans taking over. And that's fine that they took over because it's a bad year for the Flyers.
Right.
But it's not fine because it's not like there's a tank. There's no bigger reason to it. You're right.
There's no direction. It's aimless. You know what they are? They're just aimlessly wafting in the air.
Yeah, and then Torts is being honest with them.
Going with the
next year's not going to be much better.
You know what they are? You know what the Flyers are? They're a piece of plastic in the Pacific Ocean. They're garbage that shouldn't be in the ocean. And they are just drifting.
They're Wilson, the volleyball.
They're not even a volleyball.
They're not even Tom Hanks'
You know what they are? They're a piece of. They're the plastic milk container that is in the waters outside Fiji. That's what they are. And that's the lowest of the low. Oh, I'm so disgusted.
Yeah. Everyone should be.
As great as the Phillies and the Eagles runs were, I'm really disgusted right now with the two winter sports. Now, the Sixers are a different kind of thing. And I'm more, I feel, this is terrible, Tunis, but I feel like I got fatigue. And I love this team. But the Harden stories, the one yesterday got me. It really did. it pushed me to the edge. It pushed me to the edge where I needed a timeout. You ever go, you know what? I need a timeout. I need a break. And it sucks because there's two really interesting games, and I'm going to watch them.
Yeah.
But I need a break. And listen, if you want to get involved with this trade and Embiid stuff, then go ahead. I that's on you. You do what you do. I disagree. All right? I don't think Paul Reed is any good. And because Paul Reed had a game last night, that's going to change everybody's. Oh, see? Paul Reed stinks. All right? Let me tell you. Anybody can put up numbers in a regular season game. And I'm going to say it one last time. The NBA regular season is the ultimate in misinformation. Fake freaking news. All right? And if you're going to base an opinion off of that, you're completely drifting with the plastic flyers.
And here's a problem.
Right off the waters of Fiji.
So I got a tweet. 5:49 this morning from our man Reggie. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I enjoy watching the Sixers when Joel Embiid is not playing. The ball moves a lot more. The offense looks more fluent. They're faster paced. They run more. They're just more entertaining, in my opinion, when Embiid is not playing.
Okay, now let me take that for a second. That is not a violation at all. I have no issue with Reggie. None. I got no issue with Reggie. None. That's a preference of style.
Yes.
So I can't, I got a buddy of mine who's the same way, says the same thing. And he's no delusions that they can win a title and without him or whatever. So, that's something else. If you prefer a different style of basketball, that's your prerogative as a basketball fan. And I'm not going to chastise you.
But my question for Reggie is, okay, so would you take Embiid not playing the rest of the season just so you could be more entertained? Because they're not going to win without him.
So I think those people would take it and want to go in a different direction. That's my belief. Now, do I think they're wrong? I do, but that's just my opinion. I like Embiid. I like watching Embiid play. I enjoy having a real star, and he is
Dude, he had a historic game earlier this year where he had 59. And it was
we don't
6 blocks. That's not entertaining.
Like we all know how great he is. All right. But there are people that prefer a different style of basketball. I don't know what to say. Like, put it this way. I think the most entertaining player in the league is Luka Doncic. All right? Like, Luka is a fascinating watch. Now, the chances are Luka probably never wins anything in his career. Obviously, there's a lot of things can happen, but my guess is he winds up being a guy who's just a riveting player and never wins. Now, people might go, I love watching Luka Doncic play, and I'll trade a championship to watch that style of basketball. I wouldn't, because I want to try to win and put something together to win. But some people may say, give me Luka, and I don't care if I lose.
That's kind of sad, I think.
I don't know.
He could drop 40 and lose by 5 in a game.
Yeah.
He could drop 40, do all these things, but lose.
But they'll say, well, look, Luka is highly entertaining. I mean, you watch him play. I mean, the dude is really entertaining. And if you don't like the big man, because there's a lot of anti-big men people out there when it comes to basketball, because the big man is a relative dinosaur. And Joel is a unicorn. Most people take it as, well, I'd rather build around the wing player or the guard. I understand. Listen, John Morant is fun to watch. Dame is fun to watch. Like, look at the case of Dame Lillard. Dame could do anything, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and what's the deal? They can't. And C.J. McCollum's a good ball player, right? Like, they had those two paired for a long time, and they didn't come close to winning. Like,
Yeah, there are players like that.
You know, the
Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Talk about entertaining. He might never win.
Right. Again, it's to me, it's this whole prerogative. I think you can win with Embiid. People may disagree. I think you can win with Joe.
As long as you have the proper pieces around him, which they still haven't got.
Again, Embiid's, this is not Embiid's fault that they moved on from Jimmy Butler. All right? Like, Jimmy Butler was the right piece with Joel. And that was, Brett Brown. Now, early on that year, Joel was not mature. And, that was the tummy and remember all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it just goes, and let's face it, none of us could foresee Simmons going sideways the way he did. I mean, this dude's getting shut down. It's unbelievable. He's getting shut down, dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe that dude. Listen, say whatever you want. He was not a bad ball player. Like, when he was ascending, he was a guy that was contributing, played great defense, could run a break, could facilitate, and then he goes off a cliff. All right? There's a lot of people that when you look at, where they're at, you got to get it right. Jonas, there's only way. You got to get it right.
Yeah, and
I think having Embiid makes it.
Have not done that yet.
Yeah,
and who knows? I mean,
and Harden
goes back to the Harden thing. You're gonna have to basically redo it again next year. If he goes back to Houston, I would imagine Tobias isn't here after the season. So now you're starting with Maxey, Embiid, and you still got 2 years left of PJ Tucker.
Yeah,
right. And now you're kind of starting over again.
What
and
Embiid,
Anthony Melton.
What Embiid really hasn't had is what? A wing player to stretch the floor. He has not had Guru, who stop texting me. You're breaking my balls. You're wrong. All right? He hasn't had a wing player to space the floor. And Paul Reed stinks. Please.
And he's not good. Please, he's not good. I know everybody loves the...
Stop looking at the regular season and thinking that that's telling you the story. Unreal. Lots to get to. Cuz Radio Tune is 97.5 The Fanatic. We'll open up the phone lines coming up next.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers get a win. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this update is brought to you by AAA Car Care. Save $40 off any repair of $150 or more at AAA Car Care Centers now through March 31st. See store for details or visit AAA.com/mycar. Sixers in Miami last night. They beat the Heat, so a little revenge after their loss Monday night. Sixers now back-to-back tonight with the Dallas Mavericks. You'll be able to listen to the game live right here on the Fanatic. That was their 40th win last night. They're still third in the Eastern Conference. Flyers handed an overtime loss to the Rangers, but the story was the takeover of the Rangers fans. It's dead inside the Wells Fargo Center because the Flyers are pretty much dead. Keep it locked in the Fanatic for all the latest news and information. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Anthony Gargano Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
With the Arnold Palmer Open and UFC 285 right around the corner, head over to BetRivers Online Sportsbook. BetRivers has you covered for every line, odd, and boost. And for all the golfers out there, BetRivers is the place to be on March 1st and 2nd for the Arnold Palmer Open Top 10 Insurance. Place your pre-tourney bet on an outright winner. The fun doesn't stop there. BetRivers has you covered on the 3rd and 4th for UFC 285 with parlay insurance and more. And the locals, both in basketball and hockey, have a very, very busy week. And the trade deadline coming up in hockey. Check out BetRivers.com or download the BetRivers app. It's a whole new game. You must be 21 or older. Available in Pennsylvania only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. Presented by Rivers Casino Pittsburgh. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, Madame Dupree. I'm here for my fortune telling.
Come, gaze into my crystal ball. I see financial stability.
Nice.
If you switch to T-Mobile, because you can get their price lock guarantee, so they won't raise your rate for talk, text, or data ever.
Wow, ever? Verizon and AT&T don't have that.
And I see a free Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus and no trade-in required.
No trade-in? Hey, wait a sec. Do you also work at T-Mobile?
Well...
Get the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus at T-Mobile, free on our Max plan when you switch. No trade-in required. Plus, you get our price lock guarantee, so we won't raise your rate for talk, text, or data ever.
With eligible port-in, $800 via 24 monthly bill credits and $200 virtual prepaid card rebate, plus tax for well-qualified buyers. Contact us before canceling service to continue remaining bill credits or credits. Stop and balance on required finance agreement is due. Register prepaid card code within 30 days. Allow 8 weeks. Price lock exclusions like taxes, fees, select promos, and third-party services apply. Details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? There's a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men and is now available in Philadelphia. Oak Hills Medical Clinic uses WAVE technology, backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call now to schedule a completely free and confidential assessment. You will receive a free blood flow ultrasound and get something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom in just minutes. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but is free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic of Philadelphia now to schedule your completely confidential appointment. 215-302-9999.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
O'Reilly! Don't risk getting stranded with a bad battery. Let the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts test your battery for free. If it needs to be replaced, get up to a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate with purchase of select Superstart batteries. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our mission at Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, is to fight to get you more. So far, we've recovered more than $15 billion in compensation for our clients. Injured? You deserve more. More lawyers, more offices, and more support staff nationwide than any other injury law firm. Contact Morgan & Morgan today. Just dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Joe Conklin. Join me now and get all the thrills of the casino in the palm of your hand with the BetParx Casino and Sportsbook app. BetParx is the only casino and sportsbook app that I recommend. Slots, blackjack, roulette, table games, get them all with the BetParx Casino and Sportsbook app. New users get up to $750 bonus plus 500 free spins when you sign up now. Don't miss this limited time offer. All your favorite casino games ready when you are on the BetParx Casino and Sportsbook app. Must be 21 and older and in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Philadelphia Union Soccer, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
.47 across the Delaware Valley. All the follies. That is our indoor sports landscape. At one end of the spectrum, you have a legitimately good team, right? Sixers are a legitimately good team. But we are, forced with a realization of the Celtics and the Bucks and just how good can they be, and then the specter of the future, which remains uncertain, especially since there's a report after a report after a report about James Harden. And I guess, Chunas, my issue right now with the Sixers is mostly about James.
Well, yeah, because you're almost being held hostage again.
That's what I feel like. And again, this, forget about last night. You feel a certain way. People are looking at Embiid. I'm looking at Harden, right? Because against my better judgment, I go, well, you know what? He's here. What else are you going to get for Ben? I never thought they could get Halliburton healed, like that package, and they get Harden. Okay, they get a legit star. Harden's at the point of maturity where he wants to win. And the dude got into shape, right? As bad as he was last year, he got into shape. And I'm thinking, all right, well, that's a great sign. And then the rumors of a return to Houston keep popping up. And, if he really wants to go to Houston and those reports, and it's hard to not believe them. I mean,
yeah, when it's this many now.
I know
including
Woj.
Woj, right?
I know Woj. Woj's a friend of mine. I go back to Woj 20 years. I love Woj. I believe Woj. And if he wants out, what does that say? Like, that bothers me.
Yeah, and it's
during the season.
Right.
And we're trying
a good season. They have 40 wins in the third seed in the Eastern Conference.
And we're trying to figure out a way to get past the second round. And this dude's got eyes for Houston? Because why? Why? Why would you? Because of Jalen Green?
Right.
And strip clubs? Come on.
Well, remember the one part from the story was this is where he was able to be James Harden. He was able to be himself was when he was in Houston. Because they were cool with everything. The trips to Vegas on days off. And I guess that's important to him, even though I doubt he's the one that said that. But I'm sure somebody in his camp may know that.
Yeah. I don't understand it, Eunice. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, can you focus on this season? Like, seriously.
Yeah, if these stories come out the day after,
okay,
they get eliminated.
All right. Like, that is what it is.
I'd still be annoyed because it's very Ben Simmons-esque.
Yeah.
But, not right now.
And so, see the drama of this league.
Yeah, it never ends.
Oh, it's so tiring.
And the Sixers are in the middle of it often.
It's so tiresome. See, you know what? There's like one player in the whole league, actually two, in the whole league that doesn't have any drama. Giannis.
Yep.
Who Giannis is, let me tell you something. That dude, all that dude ever does is go out and bust it every night. And you don't hear peep about him.
No.
And Tatum, which pains me.
Yeah, because he's on the Celtics.
Pains me. Pain. I'm not even talking about the draft situation because I never thought that
they would have traded
it was going to happen, right? But the fact that he's, I know there was a little bit of talk about him and Jaylen Brown. I don't know, they never discussed it, and
I think that got squashed.
I'm about to say, nothing ever came of it. So all that dude has ever done, and he's not one of these drama guys. Social media stuff, all the nonsense. He don't do any of that stuff. He just goes out and balls out, plays ball.
He loves his kid, and he plays basketball. That's what I know about Jason Tatum.
I mean, and Giannis. All Giannis does is go ball out. No drama.
Yeah, and here's the thing. One is one, and one is a chance of winning.
Yeah. Sad, dude. And that's why the Harden situation, for me, I'm more focused on that. well, everybody last night was focusing on the win without Embiid.
Right.
I just ignore that because regular season to me, you got to throw out most of them. You just throw them out. Most of these games. The one I don't throw out is Saturday night because that game was the most alarming game I've seen of the season because they wanted it so badly. Like, they played so hard, and they couldn't beat them.
And they still didn't win, yeah.
The shot aside, I know it was tied, but, even if you say they played them to a draw, right, forget the actual loss, and let's go by soccer terms and say it was a draw, the Sixers put a lot of heart and soul on the floor. And best could do was draw.
Yeah.
And it was at home with a great crowd. That's the tough part. That's what has me,
You're messed up.
Yeah, I am. VG, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Hello, VG.
Hello, Anthony. How are you?
How are you, Violations, Greg?
I'm going to be very subdued because with this Flyers, I'm afraid that I may curse on the air. I don't want to do that, so I'm trying to be very calm about this whole Flyer situation. But you got to be kidding me with this. I mean, thank God you're drawing attention to them because they've gotten a free ride for far too long. I don't understand how there's not a public outcry for these people, for this corporation to sell this team. Chuck Fletcher is a total joke. And then, who hired him? Holmgren, who I loved as a player, is a disaster of anything hockey operations. He should have had no hand in picking his replacement. And it just rings through with this organization. I looked at their front office senior advisors, who, God bless, Clarkie, Barber, and Holmgren. Those guys haven't been relevant in hockey in a winning side in how long? And you look at the Philly senior advisors, you got Gillick and Charlie. They've won this century. They've won.
Yes.
They've been relevant.
Yes, yes.
It's been almost 50 years since those guys did anything of substance in the NHL.
Yes.
And that's the senior advisors to Chuck Fletcher, who's out of touch with everything. I just don't understand. God help the people, whoever's in charge of the Flyers fan experience, going to work today. It's like you just want to hang yourself, right?
I mean, dude, I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, last night, like, how mighty have they? We've been doing this a long time, you and I, right? And we've been, like, those springs where it was Flyers, and they were fun every other night, like the early AI, Flyers one night, Sixers one night, the next night. I mean, those were great springs.
Dude, I couldn't even watch them last night. They were blacked out on Xfinity on the TNT.
I know.
What a joke is that?
I know.
And, dude, I used to know all the players. I played fantasy. I'm so out of touch this is how out of touch I am with hockey, just because they've been just an abysmal product for so long. Me and my boys at a local cafe, or our local watering hole, we're jonesing for playoff hockey last year. So we just adopted. We couldn't adopt another American team. We got to adopt a Canadian team. So we went with the Flames. Similar colors.
Yeah, I actually think the Flames is good. I hear you.
Well, they lost some players, so they're not.
Yeah.
They may not make the playoffs this year. So
I know.
This year, we put all the.
Oh, so you went back? Who'd you go now?
Well, no, we're going to put the Canadian teams that make the playoffs in the hat, and we'll pick one as the playoffs. But that's how pathetic it is.
Oh, that's what you guys are doing? Yeah.
Yeah, just to get an interest in playoff hockey because it's such an amazing product. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, we're helpless with this. It's just like we're held hostage by this corporation who doesn't care what happens.
No, and the thing is that if corporations that own sports franchise never work.
No, and
you need people who care.
They're a network corporation. They own a cable provider in Philadelphia, which probably makes up half the city, and it's blacked out on their own network. It's total incompetence.
I know.
So good on you, man.
I think we got to go Edmonton, man. I think we got to go Edmonton.
I want to, but I feel like it's just jumping on the McDavid bandwagon. But
he's so good. I mean, you're going to go if you go Toronto, right? Now you're jumping on the Matthews bandwagon.
It's my favorite city outside of Philadelphia, though.
Unless you go Peg. You go Peg?
Both those? Nah, I can't go Pegs. You got to go because the Edmonton and Toronto jerseys or sweaters they're wearing this year are just so spot on. Like They're just lit. That's probably going to be one of the two. I may throw 2 Torontos and 2 Edmonton stubs into the hat when we pick. Trying to load the dice, I guess.
Yeah. No, listen, Edmonton. I think you're good to go Edmonton.
Yeah.
I think you are.
Just if anyone's out there who is a hockey fan who's lost touch, just tune in and try and find some McDavid games because what he's doing is. And what also is getting lost. I hate the city. Boston is such an irritant, but that Boston Bruins team this year is
ridiculous.
Out of control.
They're ridiculous.
They have 8 losses all year. It's bonkers.
Dude, it was funny. I was just looking it up. They're 47, 8, and 5. What?
24-2 at home.
Dude, listen to this. They have scored 226 goals. They've only allowed 129. Are you kidding me?
So go get
They're plus 107.
Whoever's the assistant GM of the Bruins or the Reds, and bring
and
them
it's
in.
Boston.
I know.
VG, thank you, brother.
Stuff, man.
See you, buddy. God bless you. Jonas, I can't believe he just brought that up. I was just looking at that. 47, 8, and 5. Jonas. 47.
Sounds good.
8 and 5. You're a plus 100 and, they're 97. 97, dude. Are you kidding me? Almost 100 goals. They're plus.
Yep. Flyers not
plus
doing too
97.
Hot. Yeah, Flyers not doing too hot. Not comparable.
Boston, too. Boston. Oh, Boston. I hate Boston. Hate Boston, Jonas. Thank God the Patriots are what they are. We got them in football and baseball.
Did you see the Mac Jones? One of the reports on Mac Jones?
No.
He doesn't like being coached too hard. Yeah, I saw the story the other day. I meant to bring it up to you.
Oh my God!
But there's reports that he didn't like being. Here we go. Coaches were instructed not to be too hard on quarterback Mac Jones in an effort to protect him from being too critical of himself. There was an issue in 2021 when Jones
so fragile,
struggling after getting yelled at. Like, if I'm Bill Belichick, I go,
you know what I got to say to that? Thank you, Jalen Hurts.
Right, exactly.
I love you, Jalen Hurts. You think Jalen Hurts, who was coached by his father, do you think he's afraid of his coach yelling at him?
Yelling at him, dude.
I yell at Massimo every day.
Right.
I was yelling at him last night. We didn't even play. I go, dude, did you practice? Listen, because we got our tournament coming up. And I go, because he was watching too much Luka and Eurostep, and he starts to palm the basketball, right? He's trying to do his hesitation thing in the Eurostep, and he's carrying the ball. So I go, dude, you got to get your hand on top of the basketball. I was yelling at him last night. We weren't even playing.
That's good. Getting on him hard. That's good.
I mean, and they can't yell at Mac Jones?
No. Don't yell at Mac Jones. He doesn't appreciate it. Real quick, before we get
wonder why.
Before we get to the vault, from the Philly Tradesman on Twitter regarding Paul Reed. No one's saying he's great. If you're saying he's trash, you're ignoring last season's playoffs when he was their best backup 5. Yeah. DeAndre Jordan was the other backup 5.
Oh, my God. Dude, really, you got to go back to basketball school, please. Please. He can't play in the playoffs, all right? He can't. He's not good. He's not a good ball player.
Congrats. He was better than DeAndre Jordan, who quite literally couldn't jump anymore. He could not move.
Stop. I can't do that. I can't. This regular season, this nonsense. Jeez. Can we open the vault? Thank you. Thank you.
You know, when we began opening this vault nearly 2 hours ago, we had no real idea what we'd find inside. As it turns out, We haven't found very much.
All right, little different style of the vault. I do have audio to play for you, but we're going to close out the vault because of something that happened this day in history, but I don't have audio for it, and we will discuss regarding it. So I will set that up, Anthony, but we'll start off with some things that happened this day in history. And how about we go back to the 60s and Hershey, PA, Ant, where Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a game. I know people think it's fraudulent. Whatever. Believe what you want to believe. I have the radio call. Obviously, it's from the 60s, so it's not the most clear audio, but here's how it sounded when Wilt scored number 100.
167 to 146. Now, let's see if they found somebody quick. Rogers throws long to Chamberlain. He's got it. He's trying to get up. He shoots. No good. The rebound, Luckenbill. Back to Chamberlain. He shoots up. No good. In and out. The rebound, Luckenbill. Back to Rucklick. Into Chamberlain. He made it. A difference. He made it. The fans are all over the floor. They stopped the game. People are running out on the court. 100 points for Wilt Chamberlain. They stopped the game. People are crowding, pounding him, banging him. The Warrior players are all over him. Fans are coming out of the stands. 46-second breath. The most amazing scoring performance of all time. 100 points for the Big Zipper.
Wow.
100 points.
That's unreal. 100 points.
And like we talked about the other day, it's probably going to happen again.
Has to, right?
But then this is still more impressive because it's twos, right? Like, you know.
Where did somebody, I'm going to get this wrong. Did someone score close to 100 points in a high school game? And I want to say it was Camden High. I want to say.
Recently?
No, this goes back. Bob will know. Bob Cooney will know. I think it was Kevin Walls. I think. I'm pretty sure.
I remember, I think it was what, Cheryl Miller?
Yeah.
Reggie Miller's sister, she dropped over 100 in a game.
It's ridiculous. I wonder, we talked about who would do it. It is interesting to see.
It would have to be somebody that can shoot threes and somebody that's not afraid to go to the rim. And that's why Dame makes sense.
But you said it too, like he did it with twos.
Yeah, I mean, he's just doing it with twos and free throws. And
he wasn't a good free throw shooter.
No, he wasn't. So this day in history.
DeJuan Wagner, thank you.
Oh, okay. DJ's father.
Yeah, DeJuan, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. DeJuan Wagner, the dad.
Yeah.
His kid's ridiculous.
Yeah, he is.
Wani was unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm sure. He dropping 100?
Yeah, he was unreal. Like, and that was when Camden was like, they had the Louisville connection and Milt Wagner, who was the grandfather. Like, it was amazing. And Billy, it was amazing. So all those players.
Yeah. Also this day in history, this is March 2nd, 1993. Speaking of the Philadelphia Flyers, something kind of cool happened this day. It was Mario Lemieux's final day of radiation treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma,
wow.
And then he played that day.
Yeah, I remember.
I didn't realize that it was the same day.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of the vault. You know, you learn a thing or two. He scored a goal in the game, but I didn't even want to get the goal. I just wanted to get it because it was on ESPN. So, fortunately, there was an ESPN Classic clip that I was able to find in the vault. Here's how it sounded as they were waiting for him to get on the ice, and then you'll hear the ovation from the Flyers fans because this was at the Spectrum.
Welcome to the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Well, tonight the Penguins go against Philadelphia, but that's not the big story. The big story is the return of center iceman Mario Lemieux to the Penguin lineup. Mario has missed 23 games undergoing treatment for Hodgkin's disease, and tonight will be his second debut of the season as he comes back, Paul Steigerwald, and a lot of people are excited. There's a host of people from all around this country and Canada to come and see him play tonight, and I know he's excited about it, as are the Penguins.
He's been really excited to get back into game competition for quite some time. He started skating again on February 12th. Of course, we all know that he wanted to play a week ago, but Craig Patrick held him out of the game. And today he had his final treatment, and he's right here in the Spectrum all ready to play a hockey game. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. And today, he came into the rink at about 5:15 or so, just ahead of the team who came in on the team bus. Mario usually does come to the rink before the rest of the players. There's a handful of them who like to come in early and get ready for the game. He was kind of somber when he first came in the place, but then as he made his way closer to the locker room, he started to get smiles on his face, noticing, first of all, that Ulf Samuelsson was kind of playing with our cameraman, Michael Chalik, at the time. And you can see him. He's laughing at that. Ulfie's right there hitting Michael with the stick. And then Mario goes up the hallway and into the locker room, and the guys cheered for him as he came into the room. Now, with Mario Lemieux out of the lineup, the Penguins are 11-10-2. And now that he's back, they don't have to worry about that anymore.
And I'm sure when 66 hits the ice here, they'll draw a response from the crowd. And there is the hand for Mario Lemieux, 66 of the Pittsburgh Penguins, who comes into this game trailing the league's leading point getter, Pat LaFontaine, by 12. Lemieux missed 23 games.
Well, whether they were standing already or not, this is a standing ovation for Mario Lemieux here at the Spectrum, and it's nice to see.
Pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing.
All right, we have a birthday today. It's Reggie Bush's birthday.
Wow.
So I have one highlight to play for you.
Now Reggie Bush lines up as the tailback.
Yes.
Reeves swings it out to Bush.
Sheldon.
The ball is knocked away, and an incomplete pass, and a crunching hit put on by Sheldon Brown. And Bush takes a while to get up. And now goes down again.
He did not see that hit coming. He was looking back at the ball. That was a blind hit right there.
A great defensive scheme by Jim Johnson because he brought pressure, but he still had Sheldon Brown out in the flat to come and put up a big hit. Reggie Bush was completely exposed.
And maybe an early message by the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
And you know what's sad? That's a flag now. It was a clean hit. Shoulder into the chest. It wasn't helmet to helmet. It was a textbook hit, but you know a referee would throw the flag.
Yes.
Because they'd be like, wow, he hit him too hard. He must have done something wrong.
Right. And
that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Even though I get player safety. Look, I'm all about player safety. All right, we had a guy, needed to be resuscitated on the field earlier this year, and DeMar Hamlin. So I'm all about player safety. But my problem is Sheldon Brown supposed to stop in his tracks and then try to wrap up Reggie Bush in that situation? You know what I mean? Like, how are you supposed to make that play?
Yes.
It's like it's not Reggie Bush. It's not Sheldon Brown's fault that it was a bad throw that left Reggie Bush exposed. Miles Sanders in the Super Bowl.
I know.
That should have been a fumble.
I know.
Or close to it. Or you could argue. But, it was a clean hit.
I thought that was a fumble.
I thought it was too.
I'll be honest with you. It looked, he caught the ball. He actually caught it and began to make the move. Now, by letter of the law with the 3 steps, it wasn't. But I actually thought, you know what, that's a catch.
You could have made the case.
But, again, I was just happy.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, last thing. So this day in history, 1988, and we could have some fun with this. Out of 13,000 entries, the winner guy's name was Mark. They picked his logo for the Miami Heat. The basketball with the flame going through the net.
Yes.
And it made me think of my favorite logos for sports.
Oh, yeah?
So I know you're
I'm a logo man.
A logo man and a fan of geeking out.
I love the logos.
So today, 1988, some guy named Mark, he had the winning entry of the Heat, the basketball with the flames.
It's a great
logo.
It is a great logo.
It seems very simple, but then you go, that's pretty cool.
It's a great logo. You know what's funny? I think about like logos, and there's so many that come flood to mind, right? Like I like, you know what? I love the Red Wings. You like the Red Wings logo?
Yeah, it looks like the Flyers logo.
I know. The color scheme with the logo.
Look, the Flyers have a good logo.
They do.
It's just, they suck.
Flyers have a classic logo.
They do. They just suck.
Yeah, their issue is not
logos
or color, because the colors are awesome too.
Like, I have cool Flyers gear. I'm just embarrassed to wear it.
I know. So, thanks everybody. Hit me up about Dewan Wagner. January 16th, 2001, he scored 100 points against Camden County Tech.
Wow.
He shot 42 of 61 with 10 threes.
Wow.
6 free throws. He scored 25 in the first, 21 in the second, 26 in the third, 28 in the fourth. Thank you, Rye D.
That's awesome.
For giving me those details. And how about Billy Thompson and Milt Wagner on the same team? Wow. Amazing stuff. I always love those lore of, yesteryear. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's talk about NJ Diet, because NJ Diet, with spring training going on, it's the perfect time for yourself to encounter some spring training. All right? Yeah, man. Lose some weight. Feel good about yourself. It's right here. The warm weather's around the corner. NJ Diet will guarantee, you'll lose 20 to 40-plus pounds in only 40 days. That's 40 days to lose 20 to 40-plus pounds, and you're good. Do the math, okay? We're sitting here in the beginning of March, and, by May, when May rolls around, you're feeling great. You're feeling great. You're on the way. You still got, you're still in the teeth of spring. The warm weather's not even beginning end of April, early May. NJ Diet's program starts with personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to help you create the ideal diet plan and workout regimen for you. And that'll help you keep the weight off. 40 days to lose 20, 40 pounds is a real thing with NJ Diet. Schedule your consultation today. Contractually guaranteed weight loss. They have offices in Cherry Hill, King of Prussia, Newark, Delaware. And don't forget live online video consultations from home. Call them 855-5NJ-DIET. Go to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers back in the win column. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this update is brought to you by Jefferson Health. At Jefferson Health, there are more than 12,000 caregivers who push beyond what's possible. It is healthcare, rooting care. Jefferson Health, that's uncompromising care. Sixers beat the Heat last night in Miami. They did it without Joel Embiid, which of course caused a stir. Sixers with win number 40 on the season. They're still the third seed in the Eastern Conference. They now take on the Dallas Mavericks, and then Saturday they'll be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. You can listen to all Sixers games live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Flyers handed the loss in overtime to the Rangers yesterday, but the story was, well, you can't blame the Flyers fans for lack of attendance, but the Rangers fans completely taking over. That's how sad it is right now, the state of the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
Anthony Gargano, weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey guys, Bob Cooney here. And at FanDuel Casino, we know the only thing better than a win is a free win. And that's why they made Reward Machine, the daily free-to-play game that gives you a chance to win up to $2,000 in casino bonus. They've already given away over $20 million in free bonuses. And guess what? They're just getting started. Every day at 6 p.m., you get 3 chances to spin the Reward Machine reels. And there are 3 ways to win. 1, match any 3 symbols for an instant win. 2, collect symbols each day for a chance to win weekly prizes. Or 3, win up to $2,000 if you collect 3 trophies. So what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Casino app by going to FanDuel.com/Bob and start playing Reward Machine today. That's FanDuel.com/Bob.
No purchase necessary. 21 plus and present in PA. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable casino-only site credit that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HOT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HOT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HOT.
O'Reilly.
Need new wiper blades but not sure which ones are right for you? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. We'll show you options for your vehicle and even install your new wiper blades for free. Right now, save $10 per pair on Bosch Focus wiper blades so you can see better in any weather. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/Viagra. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/Viagra.
The saga continues worldwide. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas present New York State of Mind Tour 2023. Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall, Friday, September 29th. American Express card members, you can get early access to tickets. The pre-sale is available now through Thursday, March 2nd at 10 p.m. Before the general public on Friday, March 3rd at 9 a.m. For Amex early access, visit Ticketmaster.com. Supply is limited. American Express terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Just dial pound law. That's all. Morgan & Morgan, America, and now the universe's largest injury law firm.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Catch Sixers game day action at Eagleville Tap House. Enjoy $4 Modelo drafts during every game. And don't miss their St. Patrick's Day celebration with live music and great food and drink specials. For details, go to EaglevilleTapHouse.com. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Listen to 97.5 The Fanatic everywhere. On Alexa at 975thefanatic.com, The Fanatic app, and now on Odyssey. More of the Anthony Gargano Show now.
On 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, 11:20 across the Delaware Valley. Our 11 o'clock hour is brought to you by Golden Nugget Jewelers, and that's where Philly gets engaged. You played that Mario Lemieux cut during the vault, and I remember that. I remember being so proud of the fan base, and, it was beautiful. It was at the Spectrum, and, man, it was. I remember that was like yesterday.
And that was a loud ovation.
Yeah, they were
Flyers,
awesome,
Penguins,
man.
Yeah, that's great.
And again, it goes back to missing the Flyers. I miss the Flyers. Miss them. And I mean, think about how long it's been. We were talking phenoms, right? And, what's interesting is we forgot Richards and Carter.
Yeah.
From the phenom list. When I remember phenoms, like Flyer phenoms, there's been fizzles. Like there was a guy named Ron Flockhart, who I still love. He was like big and fast, dude. Like, but he just never. He scored like 2 goals his first game or something like that.
You want to talk about phenoms? Gossespierre.
Yeah.
He scored a goal, wasn't it? Like 9 out of his first 10 games. Like something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
And then he forgot how to play defense.
Yeah.
And then he got traded for nothing. I was fine they moved on from him.
Traded for nothing.
I wanted them to move on from him.
They paid Arizona to take him.
That's the worst part.
Dude. There's just they have just been a disaster. A train wreck. Dude.
Yeah. And there's no end in sight. That's the biggest problem.
I know. I get sick. We're in 2023. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, when are they going to be any good? That's why the trade and B crowd, I can't do it. Because if you're talking about trading Embiid, I mean, what do you think you're going to get? Like, we're in this. We'll be in basketball hell again. Like, Do you want to go into basketball hell where you're irrelevant? Like, let's trade Embiid for, 8 first-round pick, whatever it is. And so you trade him with a team that's going to be good, so the picks will be meaningless. And so, you're hoping that by the end of Embiid's career that team is no good, so the picks are worth something.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's not, you can't trade back-to-back-to-back years of picks. It's every other year.
And then you have nothing, not like Maury's already sold the farm. Right? Like, so you're not in a stage where you can just tear it down and rebuild and do another process. Like if you traded Embiid, you're going to be bad until 2030.
Yeah. Yeah, because all you're going to have is Maxey. And whatever role players you acquire.
That's why I don't understand it. I want to try to keep building around him. Harden wants out, get out. All right?
Hey, bring in the next max contract player you can try to get in free agency.
Maybe try to get a wing and you try to figure that out. You're going to have Tobias, who's going to be off the book soon. You got to try to figure this out. I know it's tough.
This is sad. You know what I just did? And I don't want to
check the free agents.
That's what I just did.
I know. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of them.
I shouldn't be doing this right now.
I know. There's not a lot of them.
You want Kyrie?
No.
No?
No.
We can bring back Vucevic.
No. Yeah, it's pair of Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Right. We'll really go antiquated basketball.
Man, this free agent class does stink.
Yeah, there's nothing. I already looked. See, here's the thing. I looked.
Yeah, that's sad.
My buddy Vinny and I looked at it. We looked at it. There's nothing.
Kelly Oubre, a nice night yesterday.
There's nothing, dude. Nothing.
Josh Richardson, another guy that can't shoot.
Yeah.
Bring him back. Oh God.
Yeah, it's tough.
Man, so even when Harden leaves, you would have to do like a sign and trade or something.
I know. And here's the real problem is that Houston has the money, so they don't need to do a sign and trade.
Wow, you're right.
That's the one thing we were talking about. They don't need to do a sign and trade because they have the money to sign him outright. So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know when you look at it, you may lose Harden for nothing. Which can you imagine this? Jeez, incredible. I mean, this is kind of, I don't want to be checking free agents, the list of free agents. The last thing you want to do is be involved with that. All right, let's switch gears for a second and get back to the Flyers. They're so annoying. I want to talk to from Crossing Broad, which does such a great job covering the teams and everything. Russ Joy covers the Flyers. And Russ has done a great job, and he's calling it exactly the way you're supposed to when you cover that team. He's all over them. Great job, Russ. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. I don't know if I give myself all the credit. I think that's more my dear friend and podcast co-host, Anthony Sanfilippo.
Well, I know Anthony really a long time.
Holds them to the fire. But,
yes.
We've reached a critical mass here where more people need to be more vocally outraged. I know you were talking about it earlier, but to see a game on national TV that obviously not a lot of Xfinity customers got to see, isn't that a coincidence? You have 70% of the building is full of Rangers fans, and it kind of shows you where this team is at right now.
I know. That's the ultimate ignominy, which is you're stuck in a building that's taken over by Rangers fans. Oh, dude. I mean, that is a low point. Yet another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ever-growing list of low points. And, the funny thing is, and this is what we've most recently been going after the team with, and it's not the players, right? You almost compare it in a sense to like process era Sixers, where you're not rooting against the players, you're not holding it against the players. They're just not talented enough. You're not I'm really holding it against John Tortorella, who's the only person right now who's taken accountability, with this team. You have to 100% put this on ownership, and to some extent you have to put it on the hockey ops side. And Chuck Fletcher is, enemy number one. He's a guy who's been here for 5 years, who's overseen the construction of this roster, who's overseen the draft, who's overseen multiple trade deadlines, who's overseen the trade of the longtime captain of this team last year, Claude Giroux, who potentially could be overseeing a trade of, a guy that was once considered your number one defenseman in Ivan Provorov. And there is no vision here. There is no plan. There never has been. And when you line up what Chuck Fletcher has said publicly over the past 10 months or so to what he had the audacity to try to present and gaslight the fans on Tuesday, they just don't line up.
Yeah. You're spot on. And what drives me insane is, and you said it, no direction. I equated them to a plastic milk carton that is floating in somewhere in the waters in Fiji. Like, that's what they are. They're a piece of plastic, garbage, that's floating adrift in the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also fitting that you compare them to a milk carton, and their GM, their president of hockey, the most milquetoast executive that you will find in the sport. There's no creativity here. And like when you talk about what's a plan, what was the plan for this team? You go back to last year around this time when season ticket renewals were coming up. Chuck Fletcher came out publicly and said, we're in an aggressive retool. That's our plan. And they went into the offseason. There were multiple star players that were available through trade or through free agency, whether you want to go the free agent route. You mentioned Johnny Gaudreau, a player who doesn't really fit a timeline if you're being realistic about what this team should have been, which was a teardown of some sort.
Yep.
There was a young player, Alex DeBrincat, who played
Chicago, was
a 40-plus goal scorer who probably could have helped this team in the near term and the long term. They didn't make those moves, and they decided to trade draft capital to go after Tony DeAngelo. They didn't pursue any other big-time free agents. They've made no moves in the trade market. And what you were left with coming into the season was a scenario where you had a team that needed to stay 100% healthy. And it relied on a Sean Couturier coming off of the second back surgery. And it relied on, other players like Kevin Hayes, who had 3 core surgeries, coming back and being healthy. This was never going to work. And anybody
never
knew this was never going to work. And the worst part is that you could have just as easily looked to the draft. And you look at Connor Bedard, and there are 4 players right now who have star potential, including Michkov, who might take 2 or 3 years to come over from Russia. You have the ability to look at that and say, this is the best draft.
Yes.
This is the best top end of the draft. Bedard is probably the best prospect since McDavid. He's a generational talent, the same way they talked about Crosby. And instead of bottoming out, like many other teams have done, this team was delusional enough to think that John Tortorella was going to raise their floor enough to make them a bubble playoff team. And what is that, Anthony? Like, realistically, that's the Allen Iverson Sixers. Right?
Yeah.
That's a decade of mediocrity.
Yeah.
And
which wind up spawning the process.
Yeah.
We're talking to Russ Joy, covers the Flyers, Crossing Broad. Yeah, man, I'm so with you. And what drives me insane is, and you laid it out perfectly about this year's draft. Like, your eyes should have been on this year's draft. Like, going into this thing, it should have been the teardown for this purpose, for this year's draft. How do you not do it? You're looking ahead of time. Howie Roseman's got a big board for 3 years from now in his office.
Yep. I mean, what this is this is an executive who now feels the need to cover himself and to deflect and to try to delegate responsibility and to try to, remove himself from any culpability in what's happened here. The funny thing is, if you go back and listen to his comments from Tuesday, he had the audacity to stand in front of the media and say, we've been clear about our process. We've been clear about our vision. And it's been clear since Sean Couturier and Cam Atkinson went down. To give you context, Sean Couturier went down in October. But realistically, we had a report out earlier in training camp that he was going to miss significant time. There was a chance he would miss the entire year. Atkinson had not been skating. Even in October, when they put Couturier on injured reserve, they, on the same day, noted that Atkinson wasn't skating. Tortorella said he wouldn't be around anytime soon. So if we're to believe Chuck Fletcher's words, which I wouldn't, but you can, we're talking about mid-October. And at that point, you could have pivoted. You could have come out and publicly stated to the fans, we had an intention to retool this in the offseason. A few things didn't go our way. We've suffered some serious injuries we could not have planned for. We now have to be realistic about where this team is and pivot. But instead, Chuck comes out on December 4th and says, well, we think we're going to be better, and we're only 5 points out of the playoffs.
Yes, I know. I remember that.
But he did the same thing on Tuesday, right? Like, he takes the company line. He also turns around and says, well, I could throw numbers out there. I could say that we're the 5th most improved.
That was the one that,
what are we doing?
Right. Like, I mean, that was, go way back to we're a small market team with the Phillies. And, that was one of these lines that are going to live in infamy, right? Where you go, what? Like, how tone deaf can you be to not understand your fan base? And the bottom line is, the faceless organism that is the corporation needs to sell the team. Sports franchises are begged. They need people that care about them, that nurture them. I know it's big business, but they need wealthy people who will nurture their franchise.
It's hard to argue. Because if this were, I don't know, pick your favorite owner from a team, right? Like let's even detach
Jeffrey Lurie. Say Jeffrey Lurie.
Say Jeffrey Lurie. Say John Middleton.
Yes.
Say Mark Cuban.
Yes.
Any of those owners are aware of what's happening with their team on the field or on the court or on the ice. They're aware of the public sentiment. They're aware that, yes, social media is not necessarily a full representation of the entirety of your fan base. But if you're delusional enough, and there are people in the organization who I've spoken to recently who are delusional enough to think that this is a small subset of fans on social media, if you are to believe that, then explain how 70% of the crowd on a nationally televised game against a division rival, the New York Rangers, on TNT, was Rangers fans. It sounded like New York South. It sounded like what Phillies fans used to do when they would go down to D.C. and take over the park.
Nationals Park. Yep.
Like that's where we're
Spot on. We're the Nats of the early days. That's correct.
Yeah, but the Nats at least had one
Bryce
or two
Harper.
guys that you could kind of look at and say, you know what?
I know, dude. That's why if they had Bedard, listen, this fan base would be in. They would become hot. And now you know this town, all right? Where were you raised, Russ?
I was raised up in the coal country. I was raised up in Pottsville, the home of Yingling beer. But
gotcha. So
even
no. Well, listen, you're a part of the area, like the area. You know that these people are in on it. We've seen it with the Sixers. They got in on a process. They're in on. And by the way, the Flyers have been dead for so long that every so often there's a natural resurrection, right? It's an organic resurrection where the team doesn't have anything to do with it. People just go, oh, you know what? I'm going to follow the Flyers. And somehow it becomes a thing. Like there was the seedling of a Flyers like rebirth among young fans this year, but it got stamped out because they're so dreadful.
Yep. It's a shame, and the funny thing is, and, you mentioned earlier about, kind of converting into being a soccer fan, but like there was a time where I would have friends who would say, I could see in 10 years, 15 years, could the Union overtake the Flyers in this town? And I wouldn't go that far yet. But when you look at what winning does, in the case of the Union, right, you go to the MLS Cup, you blow it late and you lose the title game, but it looks like they can make it back this year. You make the game affordable to go to. You make the atmosphere something that people want to go back to, even casual fans. Like they're doing it right. The Flyers, the funny thing is, we used to rail on them on our podcast, Know the Goalie. Like we used to go after the business ops side. They've done everything they can do to fill the place out this year. They've done absolutely everything. They've bent over backwards. They've tried to reconnect with the fan base. But the fact is, when your hockey ops side, when the guy overseeing the whole thing refuses to take any accountability for any of his misdeeds, you can't fill the place out with actual fans. You can't have a home ice advantage. It's impossible to try to sell fans on this.
Well, you have nothing to sell the fans on, right? Not a player, nothing. There is, and that's the issue. You don't even have a direction. The one thing, the transparency, we say what you want, whether you like the process or did not like the process, the Sixers were transparent. Josh Harris was like, listen, we got to go through this tough period because we're going to try to become relevant. And whether or not, I know it didn't yield a championship, but it yielded relevance. And that's what the Flyers do not have, and they haven't had it for years.
And the funny thing is, the team they played, right, the Rangers, they put out a letter to their fans a few years ago, and there's a little bit of revisionist history on just how transparent they were, but they acknowledged the fact that things had to change, and they acknowledged the fact that there might be a little bit of pain in the short term because you need to build towards something, and that I think is the thing that's ultimately maddening.
I agree.
I said to somebody in the organization a few days ago, they're too far gone at this point with Chuck Fletcher being the guy in charge of hockey ops to, I think, ever really rebound with him. There's not a Howie Roseman kind of turnaround available. And also, by the way, for as much as people went after Howie, after maybe not doing the best job of building the team post the first Super Bowl, he had a Super Bowl pedigree. He built that team that won. And in the case of Chuck Fletcher, there is no championship pedigree to fall back on.
No, I mean, listen, right.
What they should have done, what Chuck Fletcher should have done, is go in front of the media on Tuesday and admit that the plan had to change, and they might not have done the best job of articulating it, but they are working to build a team that will not only...
PR 101, dude. I've been doing this a long, long, long time.
And here's the worst part.
And transparency is always the way to go. And yet, because of ego and because of falsities, like thinking that, I may lose business. Well, you've already lost it. They choose the other direction. Hey, Russ, I got to roll. You are awesome, dude. You're fantastic. Do me a favor. How do people follow you on Twitter and Instagram?
You can find me on Twitter at JoyOnBroad. And, of course, you can listen to Snow the Goalie, the Only Flyers podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
And Crossing Broad, read them. Fantastic. Dude, good job, buddy. I thank you for your contribution. Excellent.
Nice talking to you.
Pleasure, brother. All right. Great. He laid it out perfectly. Fantastic. Yes, listen, he was awesome. He laid it out, covers that team. He laid out all the issues. He's spot on. And I'm hearing from a lot of Flyers fans on social media and the text board and everything. And it's like, dude, why are you doing this? You're just, it's now an open wound again. Because we need to do this.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Do you not want to discuss the dreck of this franchise and how it needs change?
All we're doing is just burying him.
I'm not having fun doing this.
And burying him.
This sucks.
No, listen, we do this because we care about this franchise. That's for damn sure. We care about this town. We freaking love this town. We're all about the 4-for-4 landscape. Call 5-for-5, 6-for-6, whatever freak it is. You know what I mean. We care about the landscape here. And there needs to be change. They need to sell. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to go back into obscurity because the tournament's going to start, and then we're going to get involved with the draft, and then it's opening day. Come on now. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Cuz ready with the Tunis. Your calls coming up next. Oof. Let's talk about the BetParks app, man. The BetParks app has you covered. Sometimes the BetParks app is all that's left for fun. Yeah, I wonder what you would have gotten on the BetParks app. Devils -6. Oh, my God. Well, they have everything. Like today, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. You want to bet golf? Golf's fun. You can bet on the winner. You get odds on that. Top 5, top 10, top 20. You can bet on all your NBA, same-game parlays. You got your baseball around the corner, which will be awesome. The BetParks app has everything. All those things we talk about, props and parlays, they're the kings of it. The BetParks app, it's local, and it's tremendous. You got to go to betparks.com, see all the details, all the fun they got going on for you. They have odds boosts and all kinds of things. You can download it right to your phone. The sportsbook and casino of choice is the BetParks app. You got to be in PA or New Jersey. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fanatic Sports Update.
At least the Sixers won. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this update is brought to you by Jefferson Health. At Jefferson Health, there are more than 12,000 caregivers who push beyond what's possible. Does healthcare rooted in care? Jefferson Health, uncompromising care. Not really a fun day today as we react to the Rangers takeover yesterday at the Wells Fargo Center. Flyers lost in overtime 3-2. Just a sad state of the franchise right now. Sixers beat the Heat last night in Miami. They did it without Joel Embiid, which is caused some fun conversations. James Harden and Tyrese Maxey both finished with over 20 points. In the win, Sixers still the third seed in the Eastern Conference. They are back tonight when they take on the Dallas Mavericks. Then Saturday when they take on the Milwaukee Bucks. You can listen to all Sixers games live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Keep it locked here in The Fanatic for all the latest news and information. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Cuz, Anthony Gargano. Weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Right now, Wawa's serving up any two Sizzlies for just $5 every day until 11 a.m. Bask in the warmth of breakfast with a delicious sausage, egg, and cheese croissant. And try the new bacon burrito. Or get 2 egg bites with a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel without breaking the bank. Wake up and smell the Sizzlies. 2 for $5. It's a deal worth waking up for. Great morning start at Wawa.
Hey, honey, guess what I got?
Oh, is that lunch I'm smelling?
Warmer.
Did you go to Wawa?
Warmer.
Wait, is it a hoagie?
Warmer.
Is it a meatball hot hoagie from Wawa?
On fire.
Yes! You know I love those. Do you know why hot hoagie season is my favorite?
It's warmer.
Exactly.
Warm up your winter with hot hoagies. Gotta have a Wawa.
Hey guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? There's a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men and is now available in Philadelphia. Oak Hills Medical Clinic uses WAVE technology, backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call now to schedule a completely free and confidential assessment. You will receive a free blood flow ultrasound and get something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom in just minutes. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but is free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic of Philadelphia now to schedule your completely confidential appointment. 215-302-9999.
Lowe's always has more ways for you to save. On top of our everyday low prices, pros can save big when buying in bulk. Or if your purchase is over $1,500, ask about our volume savings program. A pro associate can provide a customized quote. Ask about our volume savings programs today. It always pays to be a pro at Lowe's. While supplies last, minimum purchase required. Selection varies by location. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities. Volume discount pricing quotes are valid up to 7 days. Visit your local pro desk to learn more and start saving. Offers subject to change and may not be available in all Lowe's stores.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer, Michelle.
As an entrepreneur, every day is different. My phone bill from Cricket, on the other hand, always stays the same. Without surprises, hidden fees, or annual contracts, I can work worry-free.
That's Michelle, everybody, doing business like a boss. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. See cricketwireless.com for details.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Is your small business overpaying for employee benefits? Odds are yes. 8 out of 10 small business owners agree. Employee benefits is the most frustrating part of owning a business. Let the team at Go Well Benefits show you a better way. ICHRA. If you're looking for a pain-free, cost-effective way to offer benefits to your employees, tell your broker to call Go Well Benefits for a quote today. Learn more about this end-to-end benefits solution at GoWellBenefits.com. That's GoWellBenefits.com.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Philadelphia Union Soccer, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
.48 across the Delaware Valley. We're going to get to the phone lines coming up. 610-632-0975. VG on the text board says, Gritty, the worst thing that happened to the Flyers because it made them feel like they were relevant again for a freaking mascot. Partially true. But ultimately, I just think that those guys, the people running that franchise, are just delusional. They're completely delusional. They've been built in a delusional way. I mean, ever since, Ed Snyder passed, it's been a disaster ever since. And, I get VG's point about Gritty, but how in the world could you? It's like, to me, it takes the onus off of this crowd that they could be swayed by a mascot and thinking that they're relevant is unbelievable malfeasance.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey, buddy.
These break times are screwing me up, man.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Let's get to the phone lines. Mitch, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Hey, Mitch.
Yeah, you don't need to put it on Gritty. They were already in big trouble way before Gritty became Gritty.
Yeah.
When they traded Rod Brindamore in the year 2000, a captain for the Flyers, and that was, 20 years ago? Well, I believe in karma, good karma and bad karma. They received nothing but bad karma for the last 20 years.
That's karma that's torturing us, man. It's got to end.
Well, everything ends, but we don't know how bad it's going to end. This can continue till either they move to a different city.
Oh,
change.
God forbid.
No, seriously, think about it. There's been organizations that packed up and left their city and have gone on to other cities with a good fan base. I'm not blaming the fans, but this organization has no clue.
I hear you. You're right. I mean, listen, we're going to do this show today, and then we're going to go back and forget about them, right? I mean, that's how the rhythm works, the rhythm of the news cycle. I mean, you know how that works.
I forgot about them a long time ago. I had no clue they were playing the Rangers last night, and it was televised on TNT. I didn't care. But getting back to a game that I did care about was the 76ers. Why did the 76ers win that game without Embiid? You tell me.
Because it's the regular season, and it's just the rhythm of the regular season. You're going to tell me ball movement?
No, I'm going to listen to you.
No, you're the one who called. You tell me, Mitch. Listen, you're going to tell me it's ball movement and it's more team basketball. I'm going to tell you it's a product of the regular season, which is the greatest purveyor of misinformation out there in the universe.
All right, this is my take. They go to Miami. They don't match up against Miami in most years. They just don't match up against that team and that coach, okay? So they go to Miami. Embiid takes the trip. Approximately how many minutes before the game he states he can't go, so he don't go. So he's sitting there in a white outfit, hanging out, looking bored out of his mind. If I had an injury of some sort The last thing I'd want to do is sit on a bench, squeezed in with a bunch of guys. I would be back at my hotel room, taking what the doctor said I need to take, elevating my legs, and hoping moving on to the next game.
Which is tonight. So he's probably going to play. They probably didn't want to play him the first of the back-to-back.
You know how the league is, right?
He was probably not going to play one of the two games.
You knew the league. You know, he's been playing for the most part every night, and last night was a load management, but you can't say load management because of the leak, right? Even though they all do it. It's like after the All-Star game, I don't know if you saw this, Mitch, but in Portland, Lillard didn't play the first game post-All-Star break because of load management.
Yeah, load management. When did that term come into play? It's kind of annoying.
It is.
You know what else is annoying?
What's that, buddy?
In hockey, he's got a lower injury or he's got an
lower leg. Yeah, I know. It's horrible. I agree, brother. I do. I agree with you. But listen, there was no surprise that he wasn't going to play last night. They played Thursday against Memphis in a high white knuckle game. Saturday against Boston in a white knuckle game. Monday against Miami. So, and then with a back-to-back, he was never going to play in both games.
Yeah, if he played last night, he's not playing tonight.
So, tonight's the night he'll play. I mean, that's
it's not like a pick your poison thing. It's just,
I mean, that's just what it is.
They play, and I'm glad they won yesterday. And hopefully they can pile up some more wins.
Yep.
Continuing tonight.
Yep. Let's go to Tasty Cake, Tom. Tasty Cake.
Hey, Andrew, how are you?
What's up, Tasty Cake?
I'm just got back from rehab, and I get to have my lunch and listen to the show. I'm enjoying it. But, the reason it motivated me to call you is the thought of trading Joel Embiid sends chills. I mean, so Darryl won the Ben Simmons Harden deal. They won that one. But historically, when the Sixers traded a franchise player, it set the franchise back when the Sixers traded Wilt, they went 9-73.
Yeah.
When they traded Moses, they got a guy that was never as good a player as Moses, but then he's injured the whole time he's here. He does nothing for them.
Dude, I listen, this franchise has been tortured. They've tortured us. If you go back to that, go back to the early 80s when Pat Williams had them set up for years and they squandered. You think Hinkie and the rest of the whole thing, all those assets that we talked about were squandered? Pat Williams had them and they were a title team. And they squandered all those opportunities, and they squandered all that stuff, and then they trade Moses, and then years later they trade Barkley, and every time you trade a superstar, you fail, and it's horrible. You're dead.
Right. Before you trade Barkley, right, Ian? You're supposed to have Brad Daugherty and Barkley for 10 years.
Yes.
You're supposed to have Brad Daugherty.
Yeah, but he didn't look good in the driveway. Ridiculous circus.
Think something bump, Ed. Think something bump. You take Jaminski off that team, and you put Brad Daugherty with Mahorn and Barkley and Hershey and Johnny Dawkins. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's a different end result.
Yes.
You got two Hall of Famers there.
Yes.
And they trade him for Roy Hinton?
It's funny.
So
that thing happened when I was 10 years old or whatever, 12 years old, and I'm still scarred from it.
Right. Me too. I'm with you 1,000,000%. And the thought of trading Joel Embiid, because, well, first of all, what's there? Two players in the NBA that are equal compensation for Joel Embiid?
Yeah, well, you're not getting anything like that.
Right, you're not going to get nothing close. Yeah. If you trade Joe, who are you going to get back? And
you're going to get a bunch of picks that are going to be half worthless, or most of them be worthless, because the team that Joe goes to is going to be good. And you know how this league works. Ugh.
It's tough. I'm still not over that Celtic win.
I know. Listen,
I can't get
it
over
ruined my week. It ruined my week.
They were right there, Ant, the whole game. And the thing that kills me is, and then I know you got to go, Jason Tatum can't throw a rock in the ocean the whole game, man. He can't throw, and he hits that so clean, it shocked me. There's no way I thought they were going to have him.
Yes.
I mean, you got to have your franchise player take the shot, I guess. But he was so off. He was bricking him up the whole game.
Yes. Yes.
He hit that clean.
Yes.
It's just those Celtics. Those Celtics. It takes you a week to get over it, Ant.
I know. Dude, I'm feel the same way. Listen, keep killing it, man. All right?
Andrew.
Love you, buddy. Keep killing it in your rehab.
You know what's crazy? You keep on bringing up the picks will be worthless, right? Because wherever Joe goes to, they'll be a good team. You mean, like the Sixers are? Third seed in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah.
Top 5 team in the NBA, record-wise. So, look, you want to go, but they're never going to win? All right, well, going to your point. He's good enough to give you a top 5 record in the NBA. He will continue to be good enough, if not better, because we've seen him get better the last 3 years. So wherever you trade him, that team will finish top 5 record-wise every single year. That means your draft pick will be 27, 28, 29. Wow, very enticing.
I again.
But at least we get to play small ball and run. Hashtag run with us. That was a Doug Collins special.
I just don't understand why
Show you love.
Why would you do that? Why would you want to trade him? And here's my worry, right? As Harden's going to try to weasel his way out of town. Now, which is it's already like, oh my God. But all this talk about Embiid, you know how he is. He's sensitive. Like you could call him.
We read the story
emotional or whatever. But he's a sensitive dude. He's going to be like, all right, well, bleep y'all. I'm out.
The story from Bleacher Report earlier this year. I keep on forgetting his name, the reporter. And he spoke with him earlier this year.
Yeah.
And he said, Philly Sixers fans want me traded. And he laughed when he said it.
No, he was hurt.
But come on now.
No,
right.
he's an emotional dude. That's what he is. Sensitive guy. And he's going to go, all right, well, bleep y'all. I'll go out. I'll leave. And then it becomes he leaves and,
Philly fans run Embiid out of town.
I mean, that's the last. I don't want that headline.
They got Will Bond.
Oh, God. Yeah, another one. Oh, God, please. No. No. Oh. So I think, we need somebody to buy the Flyers.
Yes.
Because Comcast needs to sell the Flyers.
Yes.
Do us a favor and sell them. And the perfect guy is right here. He's a part owner of the Sixers. He owns Campus Apartments, which is an amazing real estate firm. It's huge. All right. He's trying to build an arena in Center City. His name is David Edelman. I've been saying it over and over and over and over and over again. But David is a lifelong Philadelphian who would be an amazing owner of the Flyers. I guarantee you he would care. I guarantee you he would live it. I mean, that's what needs to happen. They have to just take the Flyers out of the jail cell and sell it. Tired of my analogy of the Flyers as a franchise waiting aimlessly in the waters off of Fiji as a plastic milk carton is spot on what they are. They're nothing but garbage with no direction. Stan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Stanley?
Yo, what's up, cuz?
What's up, Stanley?
Nothing. So, in regards to the Sixers and people wanting to get rid of Embiid, I say this like the most polite way possible. People need to stay in their lane, okay? I think a lot of the Embiid, trade Embiid talk comes from, like, the diehard Flyers fans or, like, the fair weather Sixers fans that don't know the game. And then that gets put into the universe, and then that gets to Joel Embiid, and then we got a disgruntled star. Like Twitter, social media, you read it everywhere, and I can't fathom getting rid of a top 5 player in the league.
I don't understand it either, dude. I don't get it. I really don't.
But I think that's the.
I mean, especially now, like, here's the problem. When you're sitting here, right, in a situation when you look in Harden right now, there's all these rumors surrounding him about leaving. How are you turning your attention to Embiid?
Yeah, no, I don't get it. And I swear, I don't know why, but I feel like people just need to stay in their lane. Like I'm a fair weather Union fan. I can openly admit that. I'm not going to speak on the Union. Like, I have no place.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, right now, I'm a fair weather Flyers fan. I'm going to be honest. When the Flyers are good, I love it. I love hockey. But I have no place right now to talk about it. So just everybody relax, stay in your lane. Don't trade Embiid, and we'll be good.
Yeah. I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it, buddy. You're the man. Thank you, Stan. T-Will! What's up, T-Will?
Yo, cuz, what's up?
What's up, T-Will?
Hey,
How you doing, man?
Listen, bro. We're not putting that negative energy about trade and beat out there, bro. I mean, but listen, I already got one foot out the door. This upcoming season is my last season as a season ticket holder. This James Harden situation, I mean, he came out and said if it didn't come from me, it was BS. All right, but you need to tighten your camp up. Okay, so if it's BS, you need to talk to your camp and put a lock on them until the end of the season. Because yet it's another distraction for Joel Embiid and the 76ers.
Yeah, I'm getting it. You're right on. Right, T-Will.
I mean, how many distractions does Joel Embiid need season after season after season? And then the last caller's dead on. You got fair weather fans calling up. You got these hankyites call, trade Embiid. Trade Embiid. No, you don't trade Embiid. You don't trade the most dominant player in the NBA right now who is in his prime. He's carrying a team whether he's there or not. And my thing is this, and I called up to ask you, what is it with this city that like bona fide scrubs? He's a scrub. He can't play. Paul Reed can't play, okay? He's a scrub. Why do we like Matisse Thybulle? He's a bona fide scrub. All right? I'm sorry. He can't play. He can't shoot. They put up these fair weather numbers against these bad teams, and everyone wants to go all in all and start tagging Daryl Morey, start tagging the Sixers. Stop tagging these people. They can't play. They stink. All right? Because if they were doing all that and doing so well, they would still be here.
Yeah.
What is it with this city?
Well, then explain Shake and Korkmaz to me, T-Will.
Well, because they're making like less than $1 million, and that's a business move, keeping them here because of the money. That's why.
Although I'd rather have Isaiah Joe than either of those two.
Me too. I'd rather have Bassey too.
That was make no sense.
And you had that open spot, and you've been carrying that open roster spot. And for the love of God, why isn't Dragic here?
Dude, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, he would have been here yesterday.
Pat Beverly, Dragic.
Did you? By the way, Pat Bev. Wait. Pat Bev goes to the Bulls.
They're not even a playoff. They're not even on the playoff radar of making a championship run.
Did you see the game that Pat Bev had last night, dude?
Oh, come on, man.
Listen to this, because I'm a loser, because I'm a box score head. Pat Bev, 33 minutes at the point for Chicago. 10 rebounds, 10 assists.
I can't explain it.
That goes up my keister, man.
I can't explain it.
That's a tough one. Now, against Detroit, but who cares? He's a guy that can contribute. They needed a backup one. And Pat Beverly, how come he's not here?
We haven't had a backup point.
He goes to Chicago? You gotta go to Chicago?
The last backup point guard we had was when Drew Holiday was here.
I know.
A rookie and Michael Carter-Williams. A rookie.
Yeah. Horrible. Horrible, my brother. Slop.
It's sickening.
Yeah.
It's sickening.
I know. And then the Flyers. What do you got to say about them?
I didn't even know they were playing until you started ripping them. I didn't. They're on the radar.
And you're and let me tell you, I do know you're a Flyers fan.
VG said it best. He says, how are you owned by Comcast and blacked out, 6 blocks away? You can't even watch your own team in the city. That's atrocious.
Yeah.
That's atrocious. The Flyers are irrelevant. They're not even on people's radar. And Andrew said it best earlier. It's similar to the process where the Sixers were going through the process, but the only problem is the Flyers have no ending. They
haven't started Here's the problem. They haven't started the process. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Good stuff, brother. Thank you. Are you kidding me? They haven't started. This was the perfect year to start it when you had legit NHL talent, like game-changing franchise-type talent in a draft. How could you not want to do it this year, Tunis?
I don't know. I have no idea. If anything, that would, I would think, keep Chuck Fletcher's job longer. Oh, well, we're rebuilding. We're tanking.
Sell it.
I have no idea.
Sell it. Vincent, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Vincent.
Cause I got to tell you, you are an absolute Philadelphia treasure. And this is why it's so important that you're on the air. Nobody would be talking about the Flyers. The Flyers they're so important to Philly. They're not long ago, they were the number one team in the city, most popular team in the city. When I was a kid, it was all Flyers. When you were on Broad Street, the Broad Street Bullies on HBO, I got goosebumps listening to you talk. Nobody understands how important the Flyers are to the culture of Philadelphia. It's just an embarrassment what's happening. And thank God that you're on the radio to talk about all this. If it wasn't for you, nobody would even. The callers don't even know the Flyers are playing. It's ridiculous.
No, I thank you, my bro. I appreciate that. But there's a lot of us out there that we miss it. And last night, the real reason why today's the day is because last night that building was overtaken by Ranger fans, and that is an embarrassment, Vincent. An embarrassment.
It's horrible.
I mean, I think about you could say whatever you want about Ed Snyder, and did he make some rash moves, and out of trying to win, the dude cared. The man cared about him, and he would never have stood for a building that was overtaken by Ranger fans.
But just look at just the whole history of the Flyers. You had the players, the alumni, just the whole thing about the allure of the Flyers. It's taking a total 180 from what it used to be. It's just it's insane.
It's sad, dude. I mean, it's completely sad.
It's completely sad. I mean, in the 70s, they brought the whole city together. No other sports franchise in the history of Philly has done that.
Well, listen, we're sports people, right? So, at that point, it was, being more of a historian, and I was a little boy, so I couldn't tell you chapter and verse, but as a historian of this town and sports in this town, it was bleak, right? Since the 60 Eagles, we had the Phillies collapse that followed, and then the Flyers come out of nowhere and win and gave this town some happiness and some pride, right? And then the team started to follow, and then that begets 1980. So it all kind of starts, but that's 3 generations ago, right? I was born then.
I know, they're believe it or not, they're really successful. They've been to how many Stanley Cups? 8, 9, 10?
And yet the last, let's face it, now 13 years since the Blackhawks, and Vin, great call. Since the Blackhawks, they've been a disaster, a train wreck. And listen, every team matters. I'm a big believer in. We know the Eagles are the Eagles, right? And the Phillies are the Phillies, right? All these teams, Sixers, and the great rise that the Sixers have enjoyed, over the last 5-6 years. We're a sports town. The birth of the union. We're a sports town, man. And they got to do what's right, every one of them. And we've been lucky with, I think, Jeffrey Lurie and Middleton and Josh Harris. They're trying to win. They care about winning. How's Radio Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic.
And this is Andrew Salchunas. If you enjoy warm weather or just drinking your sorrows away with the Flyers, I got a spot for you to go. By the way, today's going to be a high of 61, so today's a perfect day to enjoy some dining, some drinks outdoors. Check out the Great American Pub in Phoenixville. I love the Great American Pub. I've had some fun nights there. Not only do they have phenomenal atmosphere, which, again, I've had some fun nights there. Outdoor dining, amazing food. They like to have some fun with their monthly entertainment. They got something cool coming up. They have trivia theme nights. Make your reservation today for their mob movie trivia night, Sunday, March 12th at 1 p.m. They'll have a special menu to go along with it, featuring your favorite Italian dishes and cocktails. And if you're looking to watch the Sixers game, be sure to book your table for this Saturday. We got Sixers Bucks this Saturday. It's an awesome game to watch, and you can watch it by joining Jen Scordo and the Fanatic crew for Sixers pregame action at the Great American Pub in Phoenixville, starting at 7:30 p.m. You can enjoy $5 Modelo drafts and $5 Corona bottles and win some cool prizes, including Sixers tickets to a future game. For details on Saturday's Sixers pregame event, go to the events page on 97.5thefanatic.com. Make sure you follow Great American Pub Phoenixville on Facebook and Instagram.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers with a win. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries, and they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone. The Sixers beat the Heat last night in Miami. They did it without Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey and James Harden led the way. They both finished with over 20 points. Sixers, that was win number 40 for them on the season. They're back tonight when they take on the Dallas Mavericks, 7:30 tip-off. You can listen live right here in the Fanatic. They'll then take on the Milwaukee Bucks this Saturday. Flyers fell in OT to the Rangers last night, but the story from that was the Rangers fan takeover at the Wells Fargo Center. Just a sad state of affairs right now for the Flyers. Keep it locked here in the Fanatic for all the latest news and information. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Anthony Gargano Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
At Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, our mission is to fight to get you more. Because when you get injured at work or in a car accident, you will need more to move forward. We have more than 800 lawyers and thousands of support staff and more offices nationwide than any other injury law firm. So far, we have recovered more than $15 billion for our clients. But don't take our word for it. Check out any of our more than 28,000 five-star Google reviews from our clients. Injured? Don't wait. Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com right now. Morgan & Morgan will fight to get you more. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When you call America's largest injury firm, you get the backing of a national firm, along with a dedicated team from your community, handpicked by us. When you need a fighter, you need us. Call America's largest injury law firm. Call Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
With the Arnold Palmer Open and UFC 285 right around the corner, head over to BetRivers Online Sportsbook. BetRivers has you covered for every line, odd, and boost. And for all the golfers out there, BetRivers is the place to be on March 1st and 2nd for the Arnold Palmer Open Top 10 Insurance. Place your pre-tourney bet on an outright winner. The fun doesn't stop there. BetRivers has you covered on the 3rd and 4th for UFC 285 with parlay insurance and more. And the locals, both in basketball and hockey, have a very, very busy week, and the trade deadline coming up in hockey. Check out BetRivers.com or download the BetRivers app. It's a whole new game. You must be 21 or older. Available in Pennsylvania only. Void where prohibited. Terms and conditions apply. Presented by Rivers Casino Pittsburgh. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Spring training isn't just for baseball players with the warmer weather around the corner. It's time for you to get into shape, too. This is because with NJ Diet's contractually guaranteed program, you're going to lose 20, 40-plus pounds in only 40 days. That's right, 40 days to lose 20 to 40-plus pounds and start feeling good, and it's guaranteed. NJ Diet's program starts with personalized supplements based on your hair and saliva and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen to help you keep the weight off. 40 days to lose 20 to 40-plus pounds is a real thing with NJ Diet. They're with you every step of the way. You're fully monitored by their certified staff the entire time. You'll get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Schedule your consult today for contractually guaranteed Weight loss. Offices in Cherry Hill, King of Prussia, Newark, Delaware. Live online video consultations from home as well. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com and lose the weight for good.
Since the dawn of time, men and women have fought over one thing. The temperature. It's too hot. It's too cold. I'm sweating. I'm freezing. It's time to end the thermostat wars with special financing offers on a high-efficiency heating and cooling system, including Trane's whole house air filtration system. You'll get even, consistent heat and breathe cleaner, healthier air. Visit Trane.com to find an independent Delaware Valley Trane comfort specialist near you. It's hard to stop a Trane. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for details.
Lowe's always has more ways for you to save. On top of our everyday low prices, pros can save big when buying in bulk. Or if your purchase is over $1,500, ask about our volume savings program. A pro associate can provide a customized quote. Ask about our volume savings programs today. It always pays to be a pro at Lowe's. While supplies last, minimum purchase required. Selection varies by location. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities. Volume discount pricing quotes are valid up to 7 days. Visit your local pro desk to learn more and start saving. Offers subject to change and may not be available in all Lowe's stores.
More of the Anthony Gargano Show now
on 97.5 The Fanatic.
$12.19 across the Delaware Valley. Shooters, tomorrow we will do one of the other topics that we were planning on doing.
Yeah, I was about to play it last segment, and then I was like, wait.
No,
we're good.
Yeah, no, we got something else we want to run by you guys. We're gonna talk about, but now today's not the day. Not that day.
Phil's in action.
Yeah, what we got, Bub?
We got Bailey Falter on the mound today. It looks like Devers was handed the automatic strike because he was not in the box. But Bailey Falter.
Automatic strike. Look at that. That's going to be weird.
Tough start for Falter. He's got 2 men on already.
Yeah.
With 1 out. Oh, sorry, it was Duvall. My bad. Can't see anything. Yeah, tough start for Falter.
Dude, did you see the first 5 pitches of the kid?
Oh, 98, 99.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, Painter's going to be a lot of fun.
The Painter.
And apparently he was just really
he's a great kid,
he threw a cutter, the cutter that he worked on. That's what he got the strikeout on. But he's really focused fastball yesterday. It was his first outing. And so that's why he gave up some hits. He's facing major league hitters. Well, Falter got lucky there. I went to the track.
Yeah.
He's having a tough start.
Yeah, dude. It is what it is, though. You know what I mean? Falter, listen, I never look at spring training for anything other than, the guys are working on stuff like
there was a story, I think Matt Gelb wrote it, where, he thought a lot during the offseason about the outing against the Padres.
Yeah.
Where he had his opportunity to pitch in the playoffs, and he didn't get an out.
No, it was ugly. We were at that game.
Bad. Yeah, that's right. That was a great game.
Yeah.
But he was big for them down the stretch last year when Wheeler was out.
Yeah, he was.
Made some big starts for him.
Yeah, he was. Coming up, I have an interesting NFL report.
Okay.
That I got to share this with you. This is from the NFL PA. How about this? It's NFL player team report cards.
Oh, yeah. I had that saved, too.
You got that?
Yep.
This is interesting. One of our core jobs as a union is to improve the overall working conditions for our players, which includes the daily experience of players at the team facilities away from lights and cameras. 1,300 of our players provided information to share with one another about their current team that not only help them make important career decisions, but also help raise the standards across the league. So this is interesting, of the best practices. They cover everything from treatment of families and all kinds of things. So I'll read that to you a little bit later on.
Yeah, there was one with the Cardinals. That's really bad.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to all that stuff. That's kind of an interesting thing. But we got things at the forefront, namely the three biggest issues. Last night's takeover by Ranger fans, an embarrassing moment for the land. And not the fans doing, not the land's doing, but the organization's doing. Not the players, but ownership and front office. That night last night with Ranger fans taking over the Wells Fargo Center is directly upon them. It is on their head.
Yeah, honestly, dude, I'll be honest. Part of me's glad that it happened. Part of me's glad that it happened. I hope it sends a message.
Yeah, the message is sell, sell, sell,
Right.
sell. And until that happens, I don't want to hear from Chuck Fletcher.
No.
Ever again. Ever again.
Fifth most improved team, man.
I mean, dude, next time you want to speak, just don't. Like, let that be the lesson. Like, the next time you feel runnerish or talkish, don't do it. Don't do it. Because you will say the wrong thing like you have done, that your tenure is not only marked with misery, but just one asinine statement after another.
When's the next Flyers town hall? That'd be great.
Yeah, bring pitchforks. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
And torches. Bob, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Bobby.
What's up, Anthony? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bob. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. Good. Well, last night was a tough one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Ed Snyder must be rolling over in his grave seeing that.
I know.
Last night.
I thought about that, Leigh. I did. I thought about that.
Absolutely. And, you see all the movement and all the trades happening and in the NHL right now. Where is Chuck Fletcher, man? Where is he at? I mean, he's not making any moves, no nothing. Now's the time. I mean, all the trades that are happening around the league, I mean, there's not going to be anything left to trade. Whatever there is to trade, from the organizational standpoint, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Where is he at? What's he doing?
They need to strip it. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, but, I mean, they don't have that. I mean, he's traded all the draft picks, too, to get Ristolainen.
I know. It's terrible. Like, it's the worst. He should have went and asked Hickey how to strip it.
Purgatory, man. It's going to be.
It's purgatory. This is the third ring of hell, my brother.
It's not going to be a change. It's not going to be a change. It's going to happen. 2 years, 3 years. You're looking at 5 years. The way he's depleted this whole organization. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible.
Yep.
I mean, what? Ant, have you ever seen a building like that in Philadelphia?
No.
What happened last night?
No.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I agree.
It's the best time to be a Philly sports fan right now, man. Everybody's so high, and one of the passionate fan organizations in any professional sports is non-existent. It's terrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and again, the town has already shown you, the fan base has already shown you that it's got patience for a true rebuild. But you got to have a plan, and you got to be transparent when you do the plan.
No doubt. I mean, you're 100% right. This was the year to tank. But then, you bring in Tortorella. Tortorella, he doesn't not know how to coach. You know what I mean? They brought him in a year too soon.
Yes, agreed. You're spot on. He makes him better. And I'm so with you. That's what he does. He's a guy that is the guy with the paddles, right? To bring life into you. But
he's going to make mediocre talent and no talent, into something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's not what they need.
Yes.
They did not need that this year at all.
No.
This was the year to tank. They brought him in a year too soon, man. And
spot on, brother.
He's got the passion. He's got all the drive. It's exactly what you want in a coach, especially for a young, upcoming team. But this year was not the year to do that.
No, I agree. Great stuff, brother. Excellent, Bobby. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. He's right. He's the guy. He's human electric shock paddles. That's what he does.
It's awesome. Human electric shock paddles.
What do you like better, that one or the plastic milk carton wading in the
I
waters.
like the plastic milk cart because it's very artistic.
Out of in the waters of Fiji.
Paints a picture.
Like it's made. I cry for our oceans, and it's that's what it is. Trash wading in our ocean.
That's what the Flyers are.
Yep.
Oh, another stolen base for the Phillies.
Really?
Yeah, your boy Cabe.
You know what's funny? I thought he would be a decent player he was with the Twins.
Well, he had a broken back.
Yeah.
In 2021, I think.
Yeah.
So he might make the team.
Yeah.
Nice bat to have.
Yeah.
You're going to need an outfielder, with Bryce out.
Definitely. They're going to be good.
They're going to be a very good team this year. I can't wait.
David, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Hello, David.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, brother?
Not much. Just calling to talk about the Sixers. I had called and talked to you guys about them just after the All-Star break, and then they played the Celtics and the Heat twice, and the Grizz before that. And my concern before was, is this team fast enough to defend? And then I watched Al Horford make all the threes wide open, and then I watched them lose to the Heat with their best player and then beat the Heat without their best player. And I just find it curious, can this team really play with a main lineup that is this slow?
Yeah, I hear you. Again, the regular season and the playoffs are two different beasts. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they are. I mean, the playoffs are much more methodical and plotting style. Now, the issue is not so much the lack of speed, although I agree with you when it comes to perimeter defense, because, and that's why it's hard to play Maxey and Harden for long stretches together, because they're so bad defensively up top. But when you think about it, are they just not good enough to get over the Celtics or Bucks and get past those two? I mean, the realization for me is less about the speed and the perimeter defense, which is accurate, but more about they played their hearts out against Boston, and that was a playoff type atmosphere. And I just don't think they match up. I think they miss another guard. Derek White and Brogdon are the difference between the Sixers and the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sugarcoating it that we're punching up here, but I don't think it's a good time. I think you got to try to make changes because you got a window and you got to take your chances. It started to jump to me that maybe it's hurting us more than I realized not having Maxey, even just that threat of somebody who can get an easy layup in transition or catch the defense on its heels. I know his issues, but I'm just wondering if we're just missing that piece and if that's our best chance. But
I mean, honestly, he's playing the same minutes. He's going to play the same minutes.
Yeah.
Who does it matter whether you're starting or coming off the bench? You're playing the same minutes.
I think I was worried about just the end. I was watching the end of the couple of those games, and I was like, it's a tough group of guys, but it's just slow. So you hear my point. That was just my general thought.
Yeah. I got you. Thanks, Dave. Always a pleasure, my brother. Good stuff. I mean, listen, they need another player. I mean, that's just – I do think the biggest difference is Derek White and or Brogdon. That guard that can contribute, that gets you a little something, that either you can – that's a backup one that could help the second unit. Like Maxey struggles in the second unit, not because of the role itself, but because he needs someone to get him the ball.
Yeah.
Because now he's really not a one, and now he's got to get his own shot, and then he's got to try to get other people's shots. Whereas you just like for him to just cook.
Is it crazy to say the last backup one that was decent, and obviously he's carved out a nice little career, was TJ?
Yeah.
Think about it, right? You didn't have one last year.
Yeah.
The George Hill thing was a disaster.
Yeah.
You tried last year. They tried Korkmaz and Isaiah Joe.
Yeah.
Shake has been here forever.
Yeah, I don't.
TJ's been the last legit backup point guard.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
Yeah.
I like TJ and all, but come on now. Like, that can't be it.
No, the problem, how in the world could you go into it trying to make Quark Maz and Shake Milton backup ones?
And Isaiah Joe.
I mean, but all three of them.
Think about that.
All three of them, you go,
what? They're not point guards.
Right.
And we see this. That's what drives me crazy.
I know, Tunis.
You always say the line, I'm an idiot on the radio, right?
Right.
Like, but seriously, we see this.
Yeah.
How can, and I get it. I'm not thinking about cap and all that kind of stuff, right? T. Will, it's because they barely cost any money. I'm sure there's other guys that would fit roles that don't cost that much money either.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Our man Clutch City checked in.
What did boy Clutch say?
He goes, last week, you guys were pumping the city up about buying the Sixers. A week later, Harden is ready to leave and the fans are ready to move Embiid. I'm scared to see what next week sounds like if they lose the next two.
I know, Clutch. Listen.
I don't blame him.
Coming out of the All-Star break, looking at 6 games in a row. I'm guilty. I'll raise my hand. I'm guilty of trying to pump the city up for the Sixers. I am. And I apologize. But I would do it all over again.
Well, they're still good.
Yes. But my point is that coming off the All-Star break, I'm still going to do the same thing because I want everybody to enjoy this. I want to ride. You know, we saw Boston, and the Boston thing was cold water. And I'll be honest with you, it's ruined my week. All right? It really has. It's ruined my entire week. But I did not expect yet another Harden report with eyes for Houston.
Yeah, that adds to your Celtics' demise.
After the Celtics game, which was a kick in the nuts.
The first Heat game.
Yeah, and the Heat game.
I know it didn't bother you as much. I knew you were expecting it, but still, like.
I'll be honest with you. I almost throw out these last 2 Heat games. That's just me. I'm not saying you should. I just think they cancel each other out. I do. I think they cancel each other out.
They won. It's canceled out.
I think it's a cancel out piece. I think they played with a hangover on Monday night, and then the Heat aren't very good. And last night, it was just an typical NBA regular season game. And I think those games cancel out. That's just the way I look at it.
Okay.
That's all. Now, the Celtic game was the tough swallow. That was the one that hurt. And then the Harden thing yesterday.
Yeah.
Because the last thing this team needs, like if I'm Joel Embiid, and you know he's plugged in, right? Joe's a plugged in guy, super intelligent, plugged in guy. And he sees this stuff. And you're going to tell me he's going to look over side-eyed? How about this dude?
Well, I remember when Ben was holding out of practice and Embiid was on with you. This was 2 media days ago now. And he was on with you and goes, look, I don't know what's going on, but I do read what you guys read. Like he straight up told us that he reads. He keeps up with the league. He keeps up with the reports.
That's what I'm saying.
And so, yeah, it's problematic when he sees this James Harden stuff, and it's problematic when he probably sees some of the stuff that some fans say.
Right. I mean, what do you think he's like? You can say what you want. Oh, trade him, this and that. I really don't want to. I don't know why we're in a hurry for the apocalypse. I don't know about you, but
some people want to relive the process again.
Yeah.
Like a crack to them.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm good on the apocalypse. Let it stay in the future, right? I want to push the doomsday clock back. I don't want to go, it's at 90 seconds. I'd like to push it back to 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to get closer to doomsday. What's so fun about the apocalypse?
I don't know, man.
Every post-apocalyptic.
I don't think there's much fun to it.
Every post-apocalyptic movie, TV show is grim. Who the hell wants to restart life? I got news for you. Life's pretty good today.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm going to leave early today. I got to go get an MRI on my torn Achilles tendon, which I think is torn.
Yeah. Self-diagnosed, but probably
yeah, I'm pretty
diagnosed.
good. I'm pretty good with it because I popped the other one. So this will be Both of them.
It's not your first rodeo.
So I was just musing to you the other day. Like, if this were the 1800s and I pop both my Achilles tendons, what am I doing? First of all, my feet are flopping like this. I can't really walk. What do? They shoot you. And they can take you out back.
Saying, poor old man, cuz.
Yeah, and I'm 30 years old. I got no freaking feet. Boom.
We're bringing you some porridge.
Yeah.
Taking care of you when you're in bed.
Well, that's my point. Like, we've come a long way.
Some nice wine. They didn't drink water back then.
But by the way, the wine wasn't any good, and none of it was any good. Food sucked.
Milk of the poppy.
All right.
Get you high.
You
could probably walk around just fine.
Life sucked back then. You know what I'm saying? Life was grim. You look at today. Today is good, man. Life's good. We got ways to go, but life's a lot better than it was in the 1800s.
And again, you're King Cuz, King of the Lounge, so like you'd have good treatment.
Nah, I don't
take
think
care of you.
I would have been a grunt. I would have been a serf. All right? I wouldn't have been royalty. I was a serf. I mean, I don't know why we're in a hurry for the apocalypse.
I could see you being the King's Guard, and then you're honorably discharged after you tear both your Achilles.
Maybe.
And you're taken care of.
Maybe that was in Rome, ancient Rome.
They'd probably take care of you.
Maybe. Possibly. Glenn, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Glenn.
Yo, what's going on, boys?
What's up, G?
Hey, now I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I think apocalypse actually means new beginning, doesn't it?
I think it's the end of all ends.
Well, that's what I think what most people think, but I think it actually, like in the movie Apocalypto, I think apocalypse actually means the new beginning. But
yeah,
way,
you want to hurry for that?
No.
You need to find the people alive to play basketball for you first. That doesn't sound good.
Because who knows if I'm one of the people.
So the definition is the complete final destruction of the world.
There you go. Which brings a new beginning.
Or it's just lights out.
I don't know. But you know what? It's funny because usually you're like me. I'm always half class full. And I was like, I heard your opening of the show today. And I was like kind of like taken back because when last night's game, what I saw, this is my takeaway from last night's game. And you know me long enough, right? My takeaway was they played good. They played better defense. They didn't turn the ball over, and Miami didn't make all their threes. And that was the difference of the game, right? And it had nothing to do with Embiid, to tell you the truth, in my mind. And the way I saw it was, Miami didn't make threes, played better defense, and didn't turn the ball over, and that's why they won by 20. Which, again, if they play better defense and don't turn the ball over Monday night, they win by 20. So, and then to hear just kind of like, man, I just don't know why anybody would think, trade Embiid or anything like that. It just kind of blows my mind.
Well, they watched the game, Embiid didn't play, and they won by 30. So that's where that's where they get that notion. Second of all, I mean, I'll be honest with you, having watched this league very closely and being a loser because I love watching basketball, right? So I love watching it. I'm addicted, and I realize this. I'm addicted to box scores, and I'll always be. Last night's game was, and you watched the league, was the typical NBA regular season, who gives a damn kind of game. And, that's why the league is what it is. It's not great, but because guys don't play and there's no, it's different. It's just what it is.
But I will say, my takeaway from Saturday's game, and again, I heard you Monday too. My takeaway on Saturday's game was, listen, I was bummed out that they lost. They blew a nice lead when Horford hit those threes, which was, again, you got to play better defense. You can't lead both the guys. But again, at the end of the day, if it comes down to in like a game 7, and you got to count on Al Horford to hit 4 threes for you to win the game, I'll take that.
Okay, but this is now. I'm not trying to be, and you know me, I'm not trying to be negative, right? But this is what you're leaving off, and this is why I was upset. Tatum had a horrendous game, right? Yes. So that won't happen in a 7-game series, G. right? So, and God bless the Sixers. They played hard. Like, they wanted the game. They played really, really hard. Unfortunately, Tatum played poor, and the Celtics still won, which is difficult. And then the other thing you left out, G, was the Harden news. And the Harden thing, like, do you feel like hearing a guy who's got eyes for Houston? Because I don't. It bothers me.
Jalen Green, man.
Yeah, Jalen Green. Gotta be kidding me. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Let me tell you about Royal Billiard and Recreation. I always tell you about Audrey's Spot. So they have everything. All right. First of all, they're tremendous. Tremendous. Like, they got all the stuff that we love, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but I know about you guys. Say this. We love competition in this town. That's why we're sports people. So pool tables and shuffleboard and ping pong and foosball and skee ball and darts, poker tables. All right. They got it all. Air hockey. Like, that's what we were raised on. We were raised on competitions, games. That's why we love sports. And Royal Billiards got you covered for all this stuff. And they have a new showroom that you got to get out to and check out. 515 Bethlehem Pike in Colmar, Pennsylvania. It's got all those fun things. They're a great company. All right, I know Audra. I know her staff. I've dealt with them on personal level. They're fantastic. I had my buddy Vinny bought an antique pool table. And so he needed moved, and he needed moved, and he needed positions, and it had to be right. And what they did, it was fantastic. The thing looks like a work of art. It's like a piece of furniture, and it plays a great game of pool. Like, it's a blast. That's what they do. He was like, dude, this company's the best. Yeah, they are. Royal Billiard and Recreation. Royal Billiard's new showroom on Bethlehem Pike, Colmar. Online, royalbilliard.com. That's royalbilliard.com. Royal Billiard and Recreation, Delaware Valley's ultimate game room store since 1982.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers going to win. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this update is brought to you by Corona. Our friends at Corona are giving away a 76ers Fine Life experience, exclusive pregame and lounge access, and courtside seats. Just go to the contest page on 97.5thefanatic.com, and you'll find the link to enter. You must be 21 or older to win. Sixers beat the Heat last night in Miami. They did it without Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, both over 20 points scoring. Sixers earned their 40th win of the season. That's good for third seed in the Eastern Conference. They're back tonight when they take on the Mavericks in Dallas. You can listen live right here on The Fanatic. It's a 7:30 tip-off. They then take on the Bucks on Saturday. All games can be heard right here on The Fanatic. Flyers handed a loss in overtime by the Rangers yesterday, and the Rangers fans took over the Wells Fargo Center. Just a tough time right now to be a Flyers fan. This update is also brought to you by Jefferson Health. At Jefferson Health, there are more than 12,000 caregivers who push beyond what's possible. It is healthcare rooted in care at Jefferson Health. That's uncompromising care. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
Anthony Gargano, weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? There's a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men and is now available in Philadelphia. Oak Hills Medical Clinic uses WAVE technology, backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call now to schedule a completely free and confidential assessment. You will receive a free blood flow ultrasound and get something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom in just minutes. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but is free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic of Philadelphia now to schedule your completely confidential appointment. 215-302-9999.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/Viagra. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/Viagra.
The saga continues worldwide. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas present New York State of Mind Tour 2023. Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall, Friday, September 29th. American Express card members, you can get early access to tickets. The free sale is available now through Thursday, March 2nd at 10 p.m. Before the general public on Friday, March 3rd at 9 a.m. For Amex early access, visit Ticketmaster.com. Supply is limited. American Express terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Before new Cascade Platinum Plus, I would pre-rinse all my dishes because my old detergent just wouldn't get them clean. But now, I do dishes differently. And no pre-wash, no rewash, money-back guaranteed kind of different. Because Cascade Platinum Plus has double the grease-fighting power of Dawn built right in, with twice the scrubbing power, giving me a clean that lets me break all the dish rules. I just scrape, load, and I'm done. Yep. So clean. With Cascade Platinum Plus, I dare to dish differently.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Philadelphia Union Soccer, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
$12.50 across the Delaware Valley. Cuz Radio, Tunis.
This is the worst thing just happened to me.
What happened,
ever? We have the binder of all your live reads, our live reads. And I came in and grabbed yours.
And they all fell?
I didn't realize the binder was still open, so when I picked it up, everything fell out. So
that's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
And it's the little hole binders,
yeah.
Like the big ones. So like it's a pain in the ass putting them back together.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing that the rest of this segment. I'll throw out some of the old ones.
Well, you're good at
organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not my strength.
Every once in a while, I go through this just to get rid of stuff, and then people go, "Oh, why'd you get rid of that copy?" It's like, well, we haven't heard from them in a while.
I need to purge. I agree, dude. You're right. You're good at that.
Yeah, next week's my favorite week of the month, man. It's bulk trash day.
What can you throw out?
Everything.
Like what?
Electronics.
So
couches.
You got to put
old furniture.
So you got to put stuff like
put it out on the curb.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one thing that that bothered me when we moved to the suburbs. Because when I was in Manioc, I could be like, here you go. Take all my trash. But because it's bougie suburbs now, it's bulk trash week.
I don't think I've ever done bulk trash. I do the Bagster.
Well, that's a good move. Dumps in a bag.
But I've never done the bulk trash.
Yeah, so I do that. It's once a month. It's a very exciting time for me.
What do you throw? How much do you accumulate that you need to throw all this out?
Well, so I have, we bought some furniture that we had to put together, and it comes in the big boxes, right? and the boxes couldn't fit in the recycling bin.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to just put them out unless it's bulk trash day, which is BS in my opinion. So now I got all these giant boxes in the garage.
I break them down. You don't break them down?
I do, but then they're still too big. They're huge boxes. It's like a dresser. Like we had to put together a dresser, you know.
Dude, I got 2 kids, all right? You know how many freaking boxes I got to rip apart?
Yeah. I hear you. Plus, there's, the beer cans.
You know what Anthony ate last night?
Cans. Two frozen pizzas.
Listen, no. So we went out. We had a great time. We went to La Scala's Fire.
Oh, by the way, somebody
in Glassboro.
Somebody saw you there. They knew you, but they were afraid to go up.
Why? Please. Listen, I'm the low man in the totem pole here in my own family. So don't ever feel like that. So we went to La Scala's Fire, Glassboro. What a great spot. Great. All those La Scalas are fantastic, La Scala Fires. So so Anthony ate. Are you ready?
And this wasn't his birthday. This is Moss's birthday.
We celebrated Massimo's birthday.
Okay.
All right. But my Anthony, dude, if I told you what he can eat, it's unbelievable. You ready? He said, so he ate a meatball, and they have these meatballs.
Yeah, the giant meatballs.
That are like the size of a baseball.
Because it's like an appetizer, right? You get 1 meatball.
3.
Okay, right.
So they do 3 meatballs,
right? That's your appetizer.
No, what you're supposed to do is like maybe half a half. Like I ate a half.
Okay.
All right? Like me and my mother-in-law split a half a meatball. Anthony ate 1 whole one. There was 3, and they were giant, and they're like the size of a baseball, and they were good. He's got the regatta in there, so it was good.
And coming from you.
Yeah, I normally would never eat a meatball anywhere else, but it looked good. I tasted it. It was fantastic. So I was like, oh, this is good. So anyway, he ate a giant meatball, and he's finicky too. Like, he only eats mine. Then he ate an entire cheese pizza. Then he ate an entire piece of salmon.
What? I had that salmon before. It's good.
All right. Then he ate a gigantic sundae. All right?
What?
Like a gigantic sundae.
Oh, my God.
All right? And he was the only one who got dessert.
That's awesome.
All right? Then they brought out, after that, they found out it was Massimo's birthday, so they brought out Mas a bowl of ice cream.
Oh, that's nice of them.
It was beautiful with a little happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yeah.
In the
good.
thing, right? So Mas was stuffed because Mas and I split a pepperoni pizza.
Okay.
All right? He ate Massimo's bowl of ice cream.
No way.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
After the sundae?
After the sundae, after the meatball. Oh, fries, too. He ate some fries.
It's incredible.
And after the whole pizza, including the crust. Usually he doesn't eat the crust, but he liked the crust, so he ate all the crust. He ate the whole thing. And then the piece of salmon. And it was a big piece of salmon. We got it to split. Like, Massimo wanted salmon, too. So I go, you guys get the salmon and split it. And then you can have pizza and salmon. All right? Now, they wanted, it's your birthday. You can get whatever you want. Mas was stuffed.
So he kept going.
And ate the whole salmon, ate the whole pizza, ate an entire gigantic sundae with whipped cream, then ate the second bowl of ice cream that Mas couldn't eat.
Let me ask you. So I am a very fast eater.
Yes.
Like I, depending on the setting,
yeah,
I am sometimes focused on slowing down so that it's not weird. Like I devour my food. Is he a quick eater? Like how fast did he eat the meatballs, the pizza? I know you like taking your time at dinner, so you're there for like 2 hours. Whereas me, like if I'm still there for after 30 minutes, I'm thinking.
I like I like the nurse. I like my cocktails, and how I do it, right? So, no, he's just an animal. Like he just is a.
So he's just housing these things.
Yeah, like he ate the whole time. We had to be there 2 hours. He ate the whole 2 hours.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and if I told you, I think he grew more, man. He's every bit of 5'11".
Well, he showed me the photo of him
next to his coach Victor.
Yeah.
and he's taller than Coach Victor, and he's just big. Like, he's 5'11". He's in 7th grade, and he wears a size 13 sneaker, and he's strong. Like, he's not, like, you see.
Right, I was about to say, so for anybody who's listening for the first time, your son's not large. You know what I mean? Like, the kid's going to be built, especially
No, he's a
from
stud.
football. Right, exactly.
He's a stud, but he just doesn't. I just go, dude. Like, listen, you're at that age when you hit, he's 13, right? So he just turned 13 November.
Yeah, I know.
That's the age where they start the puberty, start to house food. But he's just an animal. Like, I got to get another job, dude.
Just to afford getting food on the table.
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah, man. I remember those days. You don't know where the pit is. You just keep going.
When he ate, though, I go, dude, you're not eating that sundae. They go, you want dessert? And we're all stuffed. Nah. Yeah, I'll have a sundae. It was like a big sundae.
I'll have a sundae.
Wait, then he said he was disappointed because he asked. I told him no. He said, can I get the tiramisu and the sundae?
No,
I went,
what?
Yeah. I go, no. You can't get both. All right, I'll have the sundae.
I'll have just the giant sundae.
And it was a giant sundae. Like,
Daddy.
it was like for Daddy. It was like for like 2-3 people could have shared it.
That's
and then he's had the eyes on Massimo's ice cream because he knew Massimo wasn't going to be able to eat it. And he had the eyes like
he's a shark.
He is a shark. A lion. I go, you're a lion. The other night you had a game, and I go, dude, I want blah blah blah. I want 20 boards. Blah blah blah. You're a lion. Go after the ball. You're a tiger.
Okay, Daddy.
Okay, Daddy.
Because you can bond over my meatballs.
VT Ron, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Ronnie.
My man, Pots and Pans Tunis. Your kid's a real Mangione, boy. We call him Mangione. Holy God, love him. Man, I tell you what, your food bill must be outrageous.
Oh, dude. I make a pasta. He eats the whole pound.
Well, he eats the whole pound, and he probably doesn't wait for it to come out of the pot, right?
Oh, my God.
God bless. God bless. Hey, and I got to tell you, last night was a low point for me. The Eagles or the Philly fans, we usually do that in other cities. You know, we go to DC and take over FedEx.
Yes.
We go to Nats Park, we take over Nats Park. We do that to other teams. Other teams and their fan base doesn't come in to Philly and do it to us. That was the low point. The glory years of everything that we remember from that team was washed away last night. I was ready. I tell you, I almost had tears in my eyes when the Rangers tied the game. It sounded like they were in Madison Square Garden, not in Wells Fargo.
And that's why I'm talking about this today, brother. Crazy.
You were there, and you were an usher. You told me that. The glory years. Oh my goodness. Last night was the lowest of low with the Flyers. Lowest of low.
Yes.
Lowest of low. And that organization, that management, that ownership, if they don't see it, it's only going to get even worse. How much worse can it be?
I know. And every time Chuck Fletcher talks, it's just insulting to me. I just find him insulting.
Please, he's gross. I can't. Another name. You know, Torts gets these guys to play. You know, like you said before. You know, you get an average guy, Torts will get the most out of him. But hey, you know what? You can't get blood out of a rock eventually. So you know that's that. But let me talk I've been meaning to call you for a couple of days, and we hit a home run with the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Do you remember you and I talked about
Brian Johnson? Yes, I do.
Remember, we thought he was going to go to Carolina with Matt Rule. Remember, we talked about that.
So I'll tell you the story. So we were, another friend of mine, they thought that there might be a head coaching job, right? So we were talking, and he goes, dude. He goes, you know what? I need to know who's give me a guy in college. You know a lot of college football people. Give me somebody, a good young offensive mind. And I gave him Brian Johnson. And this is before when he was at Florida.
When he was at Florida, right?
Yep. And you and I talked about him because you know all about it. You're a college football man.
Yeah. It was, I mean, that was a home run. And now to say, I think that's another home run too. 39 years old, been schooled by some of the best.
I like him. Yes, I do. I like him.
And also he had to suffer, he survived at Chicago.
Yes.
He really did survive. And he did a pretty good job at Chicago. So, on a bright side, I'm really excited about those two. And hey, hopefully the Flyers will get their act together and we'll see where they go. Always a pleasure, my man.
You too, VT, Ronnie. Good stuff, Ron. Thanks, brother. I'm with you. I sent you the picture of the ice cream.
Let me pull this up. Oh my God, yeah, it's a Sunday, man.
And it was 6 inches over the glass.
He already dove into this at this point.
Yeah, look at his face. It's filled with ice cream.
That's incredible.
Yeah. You're an animal.
Hey, by the way, John Tortorella will be on today at 3:30 with the best show ever.
Really?
Yes.
Listen, I like Torts. I'll tell you straight up.
Yeah.
He tells it the way it is. I've always thought that. And quite frankly, and we said it earlier, he should not even be here. He should be here next year. I'd be like, if I was running this team, I'd be like, dude, I'm tanking this year. I'm trying to get one of them studs. You come next year. All right? Once I got somebody to build around for my franchise. Keith, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Keith.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
What's happening, Keith?
Not much. You're in the Indianapolis, the mecca of NFL Combine, I guess, this week.
Yes.
Should be busy downtown, actually.
They will all be at that, what is that steakhouse? St. Elmo's.
Oh, St. Elmo's.
Yes.
Yeah, the cocktail sauce. Very, very hot. But
yep.
Good. It's good. Hey, I'm glad you're talking Flyers. I'm always been a big hockey guy. I think you and me are the same age. Like, I'm 49, so the last time they won a cup, I don't remember, so I don't count it. So, but for me, I don't know if this would have swayed where they are at now, but I always go back to the 2007 draft where the Flyers had the worst record in the league, and then the lottery came up. They finished second in the lottery. Blackhawks take Patrick Kane. Flyers select James Van Riemsdyk.
I know, dude.
And that
you're right.
Of the direction
yes.
Of those teams just totally, and even though the Flyers were competitive,
yes,
they got to the finals, and and we're in the playoffs. It just turned both franchises in two different directions.
Dude, you are spot on. And you know what the greatest, or actually the worst thing is? How about they go back after and get JVR a second stint?
I know. And hopefully,
are you bleeping kidding me? Like, really?
Today. I know. It's just, and the problem is now they're not. It's what makes it even worse. They're not bad. They're not bad enough to get high end talent, and that's what they need. They need they need the Connor McDavids. I mean, if they can get Bedard, I mean, I used to work in hockey a little bit in the Western Hockey League, so I had some contacts. This kid's unbelievable out there in Regina and Saskatchewan with the Western Hockey League. And the Flyers aren't going to be bad enough to get him. And I know, I don't even trust the front office. I mean, like you said, they just need new ownership. Just new ownership and just blank sheet and just go from there. I mean, it's just, it's frustrating because I love the Flyers. I put them on last night, and I just had to laugh at their overtime record, 1-9 in overtime, now 1-10, because they don't have high-end talent. That's the problem.
Yes. I mean, how long are we going to deal with this? Do you remember Hackstall? I mean, dude, the guy was a robot. He was a mannequin. That guy, how could you possibly give that guy your head coach? How you think he's good?
I know. But now look at him in Seattle.
I know.
Second year.
I know. And I go, oh, my God, it drives me insane.
It's just like, and I think they have the coach, and the problem is they're wasting, and I think everyone's untouchable except for maybe the goalies. I think they're just wasting Carter Hart right now, and that's what's the shame. They're wasting him, basically. And they can't develop. They can't develop the talent. They draft well. When they get these kids in the draft, you watch the draft, and they say, "Oh, this kid's a high end. He's gonna, this and that," and they just never. It's like they're good, but they're good third, second line players. We just don't have the top end guys.
No, and you can't win without taking no one to build around, dude.
We can't,
and you can't sell it to a fan base. Here's the thing: everybody that wants to trade Joel Embiid, when you don't have a star, life is bleak. All right. You're the Flyers without a star.
Oh, yeah.
For everybody that wants to play team. Okay, well, that's all well and good. You're going to stink without stars.
And you watch with the NHL playoffs, and we're going to sit and watch the NHL playoffs again, or I try to watch the NHL. I mean, I love the hockey. I love the ESPN Plus has every game. I can watch every. I just can't. I'm just not. I just don't feel like watching it.
I know.
Just don't.
I know.
And everyone and all, you watch like the Stanley Cup Finals or the Final Four of those teams. They're going to have high end talent everywhere. And that's why it amazes me how Edmonton can't get to a Cup final.
No, I know. No, listen, great stuff, Keith. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Ugh. Oh my. Tunis.
Yep.
I don't want to. Again, life is bleak without stars.
Yes.
It is.
Look at the Phillies for 10 years. Or 7 till they got Bryce. Think about this for a second, Ant. Phillies fans went to Citizens Bank Park when the Dodgers were in town to watch Chase Utley. Think about that for a second. Because it was that bad. The Phillies were that bad that we had to, let's go to the ballpark.
You remember the cheers?
Yeah.
The roaring ovation for Chase.
Yeah. So let's get rid of Embiid and, who knows what ends up happening.
It's unreal, Judas.
Dude, the Sox are spanking the Phils. Speaking of.
Are they?
Grand Slam was just hit.
Nah, it's spring.
It's now 6-0. I was getting off of McGarry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the prospects.
Yeah. It's all right. Spring training. You got no problem with spring training. Are you in? We didn't talk about this towards tonight's game, but I will tell you that I love watching Luka Doncic play.
Yeah, I also want to see Kyrie and him.
Yeah.
Because remember, I've told you that there's been some moments in fourth quarters where they can't figure out what to do with the ball.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'll lie to you if I said I've watched full games. So I'm looking forward to see how the two of them look. Two dynamic ball handlers too, right?
Yeah, I've seen them play. I mean, they're fun. They're fun, but they don't fit. You're not going to win with those two.
No.
Neither of them play defense.
No. That was a desperation move to try. And plus, Kyrie's a free agent, so it's not like it killed them to make that trade. I'm sure
what the shame
Mavericks
is?
will probably sign a max player next year.
Here's the sad part about it, right? And he's too much of a wackadoo.
He'd be perfect on this team.
He would.
Yeah. You can't trust him.
No.
He's going to be in L.A. next year.
Right.
Him and Bronny.
Right. Well, I mean, that thing's going sour. He's hurt. Now, he's at the stage of the career. How much he got? I don't even know if Kyrie would want to go there.
Why wouldn't he?
I mean,
he's clearly not looking like his life is not
winning.
just about basketball for him at this point.
Correct.
Right? And it doesn't have to be.
Right.
But I don't think he cares.
No, I think you're right.
So even if the situation isn't great in L.A., he's in L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. All right.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
We'll get stitched up.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
Today's the MRI.
Sorry, not yet.
Get the MRI down at Penn coming up. And then Monday I got the specialist. So hopefully then we'll do
Dr. James Andrews?
No.
Dr. Chow?
So we'll have that, and then we got spring training next weekend.
Dude.
So I'm not doing anything.
I'm already rocking Phil's gear today.
I'm not doing anything that's going to wreck that trip. So
hell yeah.
I'll
You'll just drink heavily.
do the surgery after that.
Drink up.
I don't care about that. But I'll see everybody later on because we have Cousins Corner tonight, taking you up till Sixers basketball. So I'll be back on at 6 tonight. That will go from 6 to about 7:15 for Sixers basketball. So we'll talk to Brad Feinberg, and we'll do it up tonight for Cousins Corner like we do every Thursday night. And we're always brought to you by the Bet Parks app. And speaking of the Bet Parks app, new offer from Bet Parks. Join me, and you got the great Bet Parks Sportsbook Casino app, the official sportsbook of the die-hard Philadelphia sports fan. That's right, safe, secure, easy to use. All right, the only sportsbook I recommend. We got hoops, all right? You got the madness coming, hockey, golf, MMA, soccer, you name it. Now, here's the deal. New users bet $10 and get $125 in sportsbook bonus if your first bet wins. All right? Talk about a home run. New users bet $10, get $125 in sports bonus if your first bet is a winner. Bet on more than just a score, plus live in-game betting puts you in the center of the action. Download now. Get in on the action. The Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. You got to be 21 and older, present in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. New users and winning bets only. Terms and conditions apply. See betparks.com for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers get a win. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this update is brought to you by Cherry Roofing and Siding. You can get 0% financing and a free estimate when you book at cherryroofingandsiding.com. Since 1975, they've been providing service with a cherry on top. The Sixers beat the Heat last night in Miami. That was their 40th win of the season. They did it without Joel Embiid. They're back in action tonight in Dallas when they take on the Mavericks. That game tips off at 7:30. You can listen live right here on the Fanatic. Flyers handed a loss by the Rangers. It was an overtime loss, but the story from that was the Rangers fans taking over the Wells Fargo Center because it's ugly right now in Flyers land. This update is also brought to you by AAA Car Care. Save $40 off any repair of $150 or more at AAA Car Care Centers now through March 31st. See store for details or visit AAA.com/mycar. Keep it locked in the Fanatic for all the latest news information. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the Cuz, Anthony Gargano. Weekdays 10 to 2 on 97.5 The Fanatic. Go. The John Kincaid Show.
John, your question is, Bob's height is 6 feet. He's an assistant at a butcher shop and wears size 9 shoes. What does he weigh?
He weighs meat.
Whoa, dude, I'm not done repeating the question. I will go again. Please, some decorum.
The John Kincaid Show. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Jaffel here, serial entrepreneur. Business owners, are you aware that your current payroll provider is overcharging you? Don't believe me? Get on PatriotSoftware.com to instantly see what payroll for 1 to 500 employees should cost you. Also, don't fall for gimmicks your current payroll provider will use to justify their higher prices, like bundling in extra HR services you really don't need. And don't let them lock you into an annual contract. Patriot Software doesn't make you sign an annual contract. These are just a few reasons our payroll customers rate us 4.9 out of 5 stars. Go to PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Hey guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? There's a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men and is now available in Philadelphia. Oak Hills Medical Clinic uses WAVE technology, backed by 50 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call now to schedule a completely free and confidential assessment. You will receive a free blood flow ultrasound and get something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom in just minutes. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but is free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 215-302-9999. That's 215-302-9999. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Oak Hills Medical Clinic of Philadelphia now to schedule your completely confidential appointment. 215-302-9999.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HOT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HOT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HOT.
Attention residents, be advised. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board has once again increased the price of wine and spirits. We are here to help. To avoid paying this increase, shop with Total Wine and More and save up to 40%. We will continue to offer the absolute lowest prices. Visit Total Wine and More, offering the lowest prices for over 30 years and counting. Drink responsibly, be 21.
Nothing brings families together like a world-famous tomato pie from Corpalese Bakery and Deli. 4 generations of pride go into everything on the Corpalese menu, including hand-carved deli meats and cheeses, freshly baked breads, rolls, cookies and pies, hoagies and party trays, specialty cakes and stromboli. Go back to a better time at Corpalese Bakery and Deli in Norristown, Audubon, and Limerick. Want to join the Corpalese family? Apply today at corpalesebakery.com.
If you run a small business, efficiency has never been more important. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing small business savings. Call now to get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months, with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/21/23. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Restrictions apply. New business 50 megabits per second customers only. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply.
By now, you've heard all of our ads. America's largest injury law firm. It means that when you hire us, you get a legal army. When it comes to law, size matters. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
There are many reasons to start recovery. If you know someone who is suffering from addiction, we are always here to help. Make the call at 844-REACH-NJ.
Hello? Whether you're at home or on the go, listen to 97.5 The Fanatic on Odyssey on your smartphone, Roku, LG Smart TV, Waze, and more. That's Odyssey, AUDACY. Check it out now. More of the Anthony Gargano Show now
on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Woo! 120, 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas. Putting on my hosting hat for the final segment. Anthony heading out to the doctor's office to get the MRI on what will be eventually a torn Achilles. Right? It's like when you get the report, Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter, they put out the tweet, Eagles fear that so-and-so tore his Achilles. We should put out a statement from the Fanatic account saying, sources, we fear that there could be a torn Achilles. For one, Anthony L. Gargano, he will be sidelined, but he's going to put off the surgery so that we can get to spring training. Which, by the way, it's not looking good for the Phillies today against the Red Sox. But as Anthony says, it's just spring training, so ignore it. But, it is still nice to see them win every once in a while. But whatever. That's not the story. The story today is what we've been talking about all day long. And I know we've had a lot of Sixers conversation as well, and rightfully so, because the Sixers are still at the forefront of our mind. But what happened last night at the Wells Fargo Center, and again, let's reiterate, nobody's blaming the fans here. And thank God, I haven't seen really any tweets out there saying, why are you blaming the fans? But I just know that there's somebody out there that's probably annoyed. This has nothing to do with the fans. This has everything to do with a poorly run organization, an organization that has lost my interest for a long time now. I was a big Flyers fan early 2000s, which, why wouldn't you be, right? They had some great talent, and there was always so many great runs. But there was just so much that has bothered us over the years. And then I still, I'm trying to think about, all right, what happened? What led to this point? Right? Because it's awful right now. And it's only getting worse. And I'm not just saying the moves that they made this past offseason to get to this point, the lack of moves they made to get to this point, the hiring of John Tortorella, who will be joining the best show ever today at 3:30, who is a good head coach, but maybe not the head coach of the right head coach of the team at this time, because they're winning too many games in a year where they shouldn't really be winning at all. So you start thinking back and you're like, man, so we had the caller mention Dave Hackstall, right? That was part of it. And then I just remember that year with the bubble when the world shut down and they were the fake 1 seed in the round robin tournament. Remember, they were in the bubble and they had to finish out the regular season. So what they did was they did a round robin tournament to set up the seedings for the NHL playoffs. And the Flyers came out on top as the 1 seed. I never looked at them as a 1 seed. I looked at them as a 4 seed, which is what they were when the world shut down. Remember, they had that 9-game winning streak, and then they lost to the Boston Bruins, and that was it. It was over. COVID. And they go to the bubble. And so I go, all right, here's how I look at them. They're a young team that played well enough to be the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, fake 1 seed after the round robin. But they're on the come up. Like, they got young talent. And then it fell apart 3 games in the season. Look, it's like when we talk about soccer. We don't want to disrespect the sport, but I will say that it's dumb to have an MLS championship game not end in golden goal. Like, I think that's stupid, right? I'm sorry. Outsider looking in. I think that's dumb that you could take a lead in overtime and not win right away. I think that is a ridiculously dumb rule, but hey, look, I'm not the biggest soccer fan. I like it. I enjoy the sport on occasion. I'm just not locked in like you are, so I'm sure I'm offending somebody right now. Please don't be. I'm just saying, from an outsider looking in, I don't like that rule. Just like you probably don't like rules of basketball, baseball, hockey, football. You don't have to like every single rule. We don't have to put our noses in the air and say, well, that's the way it's been in this gentleman's game. No, it's stupid, okay? So, we look at this stuff and we go, all right, so hockey. You could have a good head coach, but 3 games into the season, you're not liking the direction. Oh, let's fire Peter Laviolette. What? Like, this team was dead just 2 years ago, but got you to the Stanley Cup Finals. Then it was a down year. And then you fire him 3 games in the season. If you already had that in your mind, you might as well have fired him during the offseason. Instead of then all of a sudden having to go with the interim coach. And now the coach go, oh, okay, yeah, I got this for the next 79 games. They did it with Vigneault. It wasn't 3 games, but it was pretty early on in the season. And that guy just coached them to that nice little run. I go, why is this a hockey? And it's a hockey thing. It's not a Flyers thing. It's a hockey thing. And I think it's stupid. But I look at what happened last night, and it's just it's just everything that has transpired over the years. And now we're at the point where it's so bad that you have Rangers fans taking over. And you go, okay, but there's no end in sight. Like, I don't know when it's going to get better. And I'm honestly curious because I see a caller on the line right now that's mad on our take on the Flyers. I don't know what you can be angry at us for when we're just pointing out the God honest truth. But I want to hear from Johnny. Johnny in Center City. Well, go ahead, Johnny. I'll give you the floor.
Dude, all I wanted to point out was the fact that you like baseball more than you like hockey, clearly, because this energy wasn't the same energy. Like, you still followed the Phillies. You still watched Phillies games. You still went to Phillies games. You're not going to Flyers games. You're not watching the Flyers every night. In fact, I've heard you for the last month saying they're so unwatchable, I refuse to watch them. But when the Phillies were so atrocious for the last 10 years, you still sat down and watched Phillies games. You still went to the park to watch the Phillies play. They were so bad. They were worse than the Flyers are this year.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Why are you so offended by that? Baseball is my favorite sport, okay? So hold on. Baseball's my favorite sport. I do like going to the ballpark. I like going to the ballpark with my dad. I think it's a special moment for my father and I to go to a Phillies game every once in a while. 3 years ago, when they were still not making the playoffs at least I had the excitement of going to see Bryce Harper play. Okay, so that's a big difference. Seeing Zach Wheeler play, seeing JT Realmuto play, just because they didn't make the playoffs, and magically they made the playoffs last year and got to the World Series. But yeah, baseball's my favorite sport, so I still went to games because that's my local team. Hockey's not my favorite sport. You're right, correct.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm.
So why are you mad about that?
You're not bringing the same energy, and just so you know,
no. I brought the same energy. I wanted Matt Klentak fired for years. I thought Gabe Kapler is one of the most overrated managers in all of baseball, and I hated the day they hired him.
Listen, I understand. Let me.
I hosted a freaking baseball show on this station nightly and bitched about that team 4 nights a week. The only reason why I was on 5 was because of Cousins' Corner.
But you still gave him your money and showed up to the ballpark just because you wanted to watch a 75-win team trot out Bryce Harper.
Okay, so why are you offended by that? Are you paying your hard-earned money to go to the Flyers games? Good for you. Do what you want to do, Johnny. I don't care.
I'm not. They're bad.
Okay, so I don't know what your point is. Why are you so mad at me? I like Phillies. I like baseball. I love the Flyers. They piss me off.
Let me pivot to something else real quick.
Okay.
Before I go. Okay?
I'm just very confused why you're so upset today.
I just want the world to remember, including Philadelphia, that Gargano said that he would never trade for James Harden. He would never trade Ben Simmons for James Harden because Harden is a cancer. Don't ever forget that.
Okay, Johnny, good for you. Good for you. And you know what? The trade ended up happening. And Anthony liked the trade. I don't have to sit here and speak for Anthony. Okay, how about Johnny? You know what? If you're you got the biggest set of balls, right? Why don't you call in tomorrow and talk to Anthony about it? Why'd you wait until after he got off the air to make that call? That is such a weak call. Call tomorrow. Anthony's on 10 to 2 tomorrow. He just had to go get an MRI to check on his Achilles. Yeah, he wanted to try one more time with Ben Simmons, but you know what? We then got more stories about how Ben Simmons wanted nothing to do with playing in Philadelphia. And so what happened? We found out some more details, and he changed his opinion. James Harden wasn't even my number one option. I wanted Bradley Beal until he started flip-flopping about wanting to be traded, not wanting to be traded, and then I couldn't trust him anymore, so I wanted James Harden. I wanted James Harden, let me say this, the year before. I wanted to trade Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey when I was still a Ben Simmons fan for James Harden. When he was still with the Rockets, the whole fat suit situation, I wanted that deal to happen. I guess it's a good thing that deal didn't happen at the time because you would have lost Maxey. I said, Johnny, you're so tough. Come on, call in when Anthony's on the air. Talk to him about that. But why are you so offended about something that I like? I'm not calling any Flyers fans idiots for going to the games. I called myself an idiot for going to Sixers games during the process. I paid my $8 because that's how much they cost on StubHub at the time. But I don't understand why you're mad. The only anger that you should put out in the world is at the Flyers organization. That's it, dude. You know what that is? That guy must be a diehard Flyers fan, which is cool. But instead of actually looking at the truth, he's deflecting. And he's lashing out on somebody else. Lashing out's a part of grief. Lashing out's a part of a lot of stages in life. You're lashing out on me. I hope you feel a little bit better about yourself, Johnny. Let's go to Tom in Alabama. What's up, Tom?
Yo, Sal, remind me never to get you mad. Whoa, man.
Well, I just don't get you went to Phillies games when they sucked. Yeah. I've gone to Sixers games when they've sucked. I've gone to Eagles games when they've sucked. I have gone to Flyers games when they have sucked. Last year, I went to actually a handful of Flyers games, and every time I sat in the Wells Fargo Center, you know what I said? What the bleep am I doing here? And it's the same thing with the Phillies those years, but at least I had a special moment with my dad. That's all I cared about.
I love it, Sal. And Johnny, call back in 10 years, man. The deal is, though,
I just don't get the whole, let's not forget about Anthony. Don't be a little B. Call in yourself when Anthony's on the air. Why? You waited until the segment he's off the air. That's weak, man.
Man, I'll tell you, I always love going up against anybody, one-on-one. But I'm glad you're on the line because I'm going to tell you a little story about the Flyers. Since 1976, they're 0-6 in the finals. They're 8-24 in them finals games, and only one series did they force to a seventh game. Even if they would have went 3-3 in them finals, they would have 5 cups. You have Florida teams, Carolina, Los Angeles with a couple, all winning Stanley Cups. And my equivalent to Chuck Fletcher, I hope Anthony Gargano is listening, because this is truly a low blow, and I can't believe I'm going to say it. But I think that Russ Farwell, who was before your time, Sal, could have did a better job than Chuck Fletcher. And this guy was a real moron, let me tell you. He announces that right before in 1991, he announces that right before the trade deadline, all the players are tradable with the exception of Mike Ricci. What a message. What a dope.
I hear you, Tom. I hear you. I don't know where we're going with, but yeah, Chuck Fletcher's not a good general manager. It's crazy how Chuck Fletcher, sometimes I wonder if he knows what he's doing. Like, again, he tried giving the whole aggressive retooling and an aggressive rebuild. Okay. That's your idea of what you want to do this offseason. It's fine. Was Tony DeAngelo the answer? To me, an aggressive retool and an aggressive rebuild would be to go out there and sign a star player who wanted to come here, who grew up in your backyard in Johnny Gaudreau, right? And we had Russ Joy on earlier from Crossing Broad. I remember he was never really in favor of getting a Johnny Gaudreau, right? You know, he mentioned another name as well. But, you know, I go, well, what would the problem have been? Yeah, you're not ready to win right now. And if you sign a Johnny Gaudreau, that's a ready-to-win kind of move. Or you just do it to bring some life back to the Flyers so that the Johnnies of the world don't get offended when people like me are bashing the Flyers for what's right. Because they deserve to be bashed every 5 seconds. But you get Johnny Gaudreau, okay, you get some people in there. And that's the beginning of, to me, what would be an aggressive rebuild, right? Because you already got the star player. If you're Chuck Fletcher, you knew how these guys were health-wise. Like, you knew that Kevin Hayes wasn't going to play. You knew that Sean Couturier wasn't going to play. Cam Atkinson. You're the general manager of the Flyers. I would imagine that you know these things. It'd be kind of crazy if you don't. And so your top-of-the-line players, even though they're not great along the rest of the NHL per se, at least they're your top players. So you make some of those other moves. Those guys aren't playing. And so now you're in this weird situation where you're winning just enough games to not be toward the bottom. But I heard, who did I hear? I heard somebody. Oh, I love Steve Coates. Love him to death. Okay. And he works for the team. He was on the All-Star Day, or open house week, with Giant of the K. And he brought up the 6 points out of a playoff spot. You ever try to roll your eyes too far back? It started to hurt. Like, that's what happened to me. Okay. And it's like, okay, yeah, that may actually be correct statistically, but you see this team as a playoff team? And do you see as this team that's close to being a contender in the next couple of years? Because I don't. I don't at all. So when I think of the Flyers and I think of next steps and I think of the light at the end of the tunnel, I can't come up with an answer. Because you're not good enough, or you're not bad enough to get one of these marquee players, which, again, it's not like Bedard would play right away for you. But, you know, you get these guys and you're like, okay, you're not good. You're not bad enough for that. Is this team an intriguing landing spot for a free agent right now? Let's be honest with ourselves. Yeah, Johnny Gaudreau did want to come here. He wanted to be close to his family. I talked to him. He was on the air with me and Bob Cooney from his golf outing, the charity golf outing. I spoke to him. He wanted to come here. He wanted to be closer to home because he had something go. I think it was his grandmother. Something happened where a loved one was lost, and it took him like 2 days to get home because of travel issues, right? He wishes he could have been closer. It's not like Columbus is right around the corner, but it's closer than where he was. But he wanted to be here. His father tells us the Flyers wanted nothing to do with him. What? Okay, fine. So when you don't want anything to do with the star player like that, that means you're about to like blow it up, right? But they don't. They sign players that are good enough that are going to help you win. You hire a coach that's good enough that's going to help you win, but you're not in a position to actually win anything. And that's when we get back to the Sixers pre-process. Iguodala, Drew Holiday, players, right? But like, what was that going to win you? Nothing. You were going to be a forever 7-8 seed, and that's it. It bothers me. Let's go to Travis in Lancaster. What's up, Travis?
Hey, this is my first time ever calling in. I'm a huge fan of you, Andrew.
Thank you.
I'm a college student. I'm only 20 years old, and it just feels like this Flyers team to me. I've been watching the Flyers ever since I was like 7 years old, and my parents got cable. Okay, I would never miss a game. And just the past 2 seasons now, it's like the Flyers have just become a drain on me that I just can't watch them anymore.
Right, and you're a huge Flyers fan, and so am I, but I'm not going to say that the Flyers are number one for me. So for me, it's not crazy to check out, right? Whereas I will be honest with you, I probably watched 50-some games last year, and I remember the season ended, and I said, why did I do that to myself? But you're a diehard Flyers fan, man, and for you to be checking out, like that's the message that the team, the ownership needs to know.
Yeah, I used to be upset if I didn't watch all 82 games.
Right.
I used to, when my parents would go on vacation, I would be on my phone watching the Flyers, even though they would be losing. And just this season, it's like I am a diehard Flyers fan. The Flyers are top tier for me. It's Flyers, Eagles, and Phillies. And just to see an organization just show they don't care for as long as they have, like Chuck Fletcher. Not like you said earlier in the show, we had a perfect opportunity to go out and get Johnny Gaudreau and really rebuild his team because we had the cap space to do it, and we had the top free agent in the NHL who actually wanted to come to Philadelphia.
Wanted to be here.
And I've never seen as a Flyers fan. Like I know I'm young, but I've never seen a free agent actually want to be a Flyers fan who's a top free agent. I've seen like other free agents want to be here, but they're like, third, fourth line players don't really make an impact. But Johnny Gaudreau would make an impact on his team. And just to see Chuck Fletcher, waste away money on a Travis Sanheim extension, waste away money on Ristolainen, waste money on Tony DeAngelo, waste money bringing back Justin Braun, who I never liked Justin Braun. I liked him when he was on the Sharks. Didn't do really anything to me when he's on the Flyers. But we had the perfect opportunity to go out there and get Johnny Gaudreau, and we just didn't.
Yeah, and here's the thing. So Chuck Fletcher, and I appreciate the call, Travis. I do. He's just bad at his job. I want to make this clear. I think Chuck Fletcher cares about the Flyers. Right? I think he does. I think he's just terrible at his job. Because there's a lot, they don't care about the team. Ownership might not. Comcast might not. What I'm honestly curious about, and I don't know how to look this up. Maybe I have to, do some digging, right? They're only going to sell the team if they don't reach the bottom line, right? When it comes to the dollars and cents. That's the only reason why they're going to sell the team. Now, good for Flyers fans for not showing up a lot, right? I mean, it's not like the attendance is any good. I don't think Dave Scott, CEO, or whoever's running the ship for Comcast when it comes to the Flyers, I don't think they're listening to the show today. And I don't think they're going, oh, man, we lost Travis. Travis was a diehard fan. Oh, no, they're going, oh, but Johnny bought a new sweater. He bought a TK sweater this year. Ching ching. This is another There's another cha-ching there for us. So that's the sad part. They might not sell the team until they're literally losing money. And hopefully they're starting to, but I don't know. They're still advertising, right? They're still, you look at it around the rink, advertisements. You watch TV, advertisements. It's the way it is. And that's the sad part. I don't know if they're going to sell. Now, here's the thing. Kevin Weeks, who covers the NHL, he just tweeted this out 18 minutes ago. Something to keep an eye on. Brennan Gunn, who's sitting in my chair right now. Down the NJ Turnpike in Philly, the Flyers are, quote, sellers, but have been quiet so far. I'm curious to see what happens between now and the 3 p.m. deadline. They're not going to not do anything, right?
They better do something.
Like, I know they're not going to really get much for anything. Like, I know JVR is the name that keeps on being floated out there.
Who do they have, though, to give away? Kevin Hayes?
Well, that's the thing. Half the guys aren't playing. That's like, yeah, you can be sellers, and they should be sellers, but what are you selling?
Nothing.
Especially of note. And some of these contracts that you signed. Oh, God. Let's see. Luis Ortiz checks in. Who, poor Luis, his profile photo has him in a Flyers sweater. Okay. He tweets me, I bought my mom Flyers tickets for March 18th for Christmas. This is a Hispanic woman who knows nothing about hockey, but has never been to a game and wanted to go. It's cool. I spent $330 for 3 upper-level tickets, and I regret that now, but hey, as long as my mom is happy. Yes. That's why my dad and I went to Phillies games when they were awful. And we were watching, Jeremy Hellickson pitch, right? Jared Eichhoff. This guy's the next big righty on this team. We never believe that stuff. Let's act like Jorge Alfaro is an untouchable, right? Now, you go there to spend a nice day with somebody. But $330 for 3 tickets. And that's why I go, yeah, Chuck Fletcher might actually care about this team, but the owners, as long as the money, it's not John Middleton. Like, John Middleton, he's in it for the money, 1. But 2, he's also a big Phillies fan. Like, he was a Phillies fan at purchase. That's why he cares so much. That's why the whole stupid money and I want to bring my bleeping trophy back thing happens. And so for anybody to rip the Phillies organization, it's kind of like the Sixers. The Phillies actually started trying like 4 or 5 years ago. They just make bad moves. Like Jake Arrieta was not a smart move. Jake Arrieta equals Al Horford. Sixers were trying. It was just not a good move. It was an aging player that didn't work for you. Now Al Horford goes back and has success in Boston, whereas Jake Arrieta was done at that point. But you can't say the Phillies weren't trying. They get the flashy manager in Gabe Kapler. They then spend more money in the big name in Joe Girardi. Just didn't work out until finally this year. The Sixers, they've tried. Ownership has tried. Just hasn't worked out. I don't know where the Flyers are trying. And that goes back to what I first started saying when I started this segment. Anthony, by the way, going to get his MRI. Chuck Fletcher has an idea in his head, but completely, can I even say messed up? Like Brennan, I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm still confused by it. Tony DeAngelo, Rasmus Ristolainen, like all these moves in recent years, how has that made your team better?
It hasn't. It was right after, too. They said they weren't even going to try to get any 2 big-name free agents like Johnny Hockey, and then they go out and spend money on Tony DeAngelo.
Which makes no sense.
No.
None.
It's like contradictory.
And then and then you have to go out there and look, I get it. He's trying to save his job. But to say with a smile on your face, we're the 5th most improved team in hockey this year.
What does that mean?
What I don't know. And I said it yesterday. I saw a great meme of somebody photoshopping it in the rafters of the Wells Fargo Center. But seriously, what does that mean? And I still remember before the season started, we played his press conference. And he said, we're going to be a team that, we're going to be competitive and we not win a lot of games, but we're going to be hard out for a lot of teams. Is that your goal? Is for being more competitive? And I get it. I understand that. This is like sometimes I can't get the freaking words out of my mouth. That makes sense if you're rebuilding, right? Like, hey, we're going to be a tougher beat this year. Like the Marlins say that kind of stuff as they're waiting for more of their prospects to come up. They're never going to pay their players. We know that. The Flyers shouldn't be the Marlins. It's the Philadelphia Flyers. Historic franchise. They shouldn't just be there to be competitive and make it hard for teams. Because what does that matter? All right, so the team, like the Rangers might lose their next game because they had to go to overtime last night. Is that what your goal is here? If we play them hard enough tonight and lose, they might lose the next game. Like, is that what the goal is? I'm so freaking confused by this team. Somebody tweeted in saying, all right, going back to our caller, Johnny, he must work for Comcast. That might be true.
He could.
Because I honestly want to sit down with Johnny for I don't want to buy him a beer because he doesn't deserve my money, just like the Flyers don't. But I kind of want to sit down with like a pane of glass between us because I'm afraid to die, God forbid. Because he wasn't okay. I just need to know, like, why were you so angry?
Well, there's a huge difference between going to the Wells Fargo Center and going to Citizens Bank Park
during the summer, nice day, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless of the sport.
But not even that. It's just he was so angry at me, and I'm sure Anthony, and I'm sure Rush Joy, who joined us earlier, for telling it like it is. And look, I love Mikey Miss, right? Mikey Miss always brought up the Flyers fan. There are Flyers fans who that's their number one team, and that's fine. But then there's some Flyers fans that are like, world's out to get us. Oh, you like the Phillies? Well, you don't like us. Oh, you like the Sixers? Oh, you don't like us. No, we can like all four teams. We may have different levels of love. I still love the Flyers. They just piss me off. And so, no, I'm not going to give them any attention this year. But I just like, how could you be mad at somebody else? This team is not good. And this team is not going to be good for a very long time. And that's the worst part of this all. Because I don't see the end in sight. I don't think Chuck Fletcher, if he's still here next year, is going to land a big splashy free agent. I don't think he's going to be creative and have this great trade. They're clearly not going to be in a position to get a franchise-changing player in the draft. Your head coach, who, by the way, I don't know if they speak. I don't know what that relationship is. They seem to not be on the same page whatsoever. Tortorella, who's joining the best show ever today at 3:30, he said literally just 2 or 3 days ago that next year is going to be as much of a grind. He's saying that the head coach, who's already gotten a lot out of his players this year, more than he probably should have, because it's actually hurting the Flyers. But the head coach is saying it's not going to be better next year. I don't know when it's ever going to end. Forget that it's been 50 years since the Cup, right? Coming up on 50 years. Forget that for a second. At least they've been close since the last time they've won. They're nowhere close. And they're not going to be anywhere close for a long time. And that's sad. The Flyers have never, ever since the early 2000s, they've been what? In 1 year, out the other year. In 1 year, out the other year. 2010 was a lot of fun. That was 13 years ago. I was in high school, man. It was 13 years ago. I did the same thing with the Phillies. Man, I was in high school the last time they were in the playoffs. At least they tried. Later, they just messed up their rebuild. They did not, like Mickey Moniak was an awful first overall pick. And that's why I ripped Matt Klentak for it. The Flyers have not done anything in the last couple of years for you to say, okay, this is putting them in a good position down the road. The Claude Giroux trade was a disaster. All this stuff. Anyways, That'll do it for us today. The team is depressing. They make me sad. And they're on our station. Go Flyers. Speaking of on our station, Sixers tonight against the Mavericks. That's another team that we have a lot of spirited conversations about, and as we should. But again, you take a step back. I'm not here defending the Sixers by any means because they disappoint me a lot. At least they're trying. Right? Like I step back, I go, at least they have a direction. It might not be the best one, but they have a direction. Whereas the Flyers, they got nothing left. And that's why they don't have my attention anymore. Except when I see a video go viral of Rangers fans taking over the Wells Fargo Center. And it's just another reminder of how awful it is right now. Best show ever. They'll be coming your way next. As I mentioned, John Tortorella will be joining the show at 3:30. That will be a must listen. I'm looking forward to hearing that. I will be listening to see if we get anything from Torts. So make sure you check them all out. Coming up next, Anthony will be back tomorrow. We'll be broadcasting live from Chickies and Pizza in Malvern. So until then, have a great rest of your day right here, 97.5 The Fanatic. My name is Al Tunis, and this update is brought to you by the NTT IndyCar Series. Experience the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg this Sunday, March 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Live on NBC and Peacock. Watch the fastest cars and the boldest drivers fight to the finish line. The Sixers beat the Heat last night in Miami. They did it without Joel Embiid. It was win number 40 on the season, which is still good for the third seed in the Eastern Conference. They're back tonight, back-to-back, when they take on the Dallas Mavericks. Game tips off at 7:30. You can listen live right here on The Fanatic. All games can be heard right here on The Fanatic. They take on the Milwaukee Bucks this Saturday. Flyers handed an overtime loss to the Rangers, but the story there, the Rangers fans taking